ホーム2本ですか
ですね、丸切ってます。
ホームランもチームの中では多いですしね。
ですね。そこにランナーを置いて、形で回して、あとは仕留める人が仕留めてくれるか
そうですね。
というところですね。
はい。いや、本当あと1本なんですよ。
ですね。
あと1本がね、どこかで出てれば、まだ展開が変わってきますからね。
まさにそこを掴み取れるかというところですね。
投げる方のピッチャーも楽にはなってくるでしょうし。
早く先制点で楽にしてあげたいですよね、ピッチャーはね。
そうですね。だから、一番いいのはね、投げてからすると一番いいのは先制して、
パーソンで、パーソンパシフィックリーグ公式戦、東北楽天ゴールデンイーグルス対千葉ロッテマリーンズ7回戦。まもなく選手の入場です。非常にご注目ください。大変長らくお待たせいたしました。では皆さん、大きな拍手、大きな声援で選手を迎えましょう。ラッテイグス選手の入場です。ライト、大坊優也。センター、勝地涼介。レフト、島内宏明。ラスト、鈴木大地。 セカンド、浅村ひなた。ショート、山崎剛。サード、黒川文也。キャプテン、安田優馬。東、マイケル・ブランコ。ピッチャー、竹中亮太。
本日選手を元気に迎えてくれたのは学生来年ファミリーの皆さんでした。
さあ、楽天ユース、マッケイト。続きまして、始球式を行います。本日の始球式は、パーソングループによる始球式プレゼントキャンペーンで当選した松谷さやかさんです。では、お願いいたします。ナイスチーム、ありがとうございました。本日の始球式は松谷さやかさんでした。今一度大きな拍手をお願いいたします。
That is a distinctly Japanese tradition, with a batter in the box for the first pitch, and always swinging to make sure that whoever's on the mound picks up a strike. It's midnight in the Eastern Time Zone. It's 1 p.m. in Japan, and that means it's time for the Midnight Matinee here on the Pacific League English YouTube channel. Hello everyone, and welcome to Rakuten Mobile Park Miyagi in Sendai, Japan. Ryota Takinaka about to take us into the danger zone here as the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles host the Chiba Lotte Marines. My name is Gabe Lerman. I will be your host for the next 3 hours or so. I mean, the last Midnight Matinee we did was 4.5 hours, and joining me on this wonderful journey is my play-by-play, or my color commentator, Mike Bealey. Mike, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing fine, and I'm interested to see how the audible that the Marines called will go for them.
And not without warning, Daiki Iwashita joining into the Lotte starting lineup due to Ryotaro Mori being under the weather. We're hearing reports of a sore back. You'll see here the starting pitcher for tonight's broadcast, the same starting pitcher who was at Escon Field, Hokkaido for our first Midnight Matinee, Ryota Takinaka. This is his third pro season, usually rotating between the rotation and bullpen, but as you can see, he's been pitching pretty solidly so far. 2-1 in 5 starts with a 1.82 ERA and only a 9.78 whip. People happy they're staying up for this? We're glad to have you here. You'll hear the Lotte faithful getting rowdy in that right field bleachers. Unlike most ballparks in Japan, Rakuten Mobile Park has the visitors in right field and the home team in left. First pitch on the way. Naito Ikeda line to the right center gap. That will fall for a base hit, and Naito Ikeda continues right where he left off. He slugged 4 hits as the starting batter in yesterday's game, and now the rookie doinks his first pitch that he sees from Takinaka into right field. You saw a glimpse there of the coach of the Chiba Lotte Marines, former major leaguer Masato Yoshii. He was a former Chiba Lotte Marine himself, and now he's come to coach the club. Quick courtesy check-in on Ikeda over at first. Ikeda, one of those Japanese baseball players who sports a 0 or double 0. Unlike in the majors, it's a lot more common over here. Fastball outside for ball 1.
I think I saw a few years ago, it was the first time 0-0 and 0 actually played against each other in a major league game.
Yeah, single 0 was taken by Lotte's favorite left fielder, Takashi Ogino, which makes sense. He's got the 0 right in his name. Cutter outside for ball 2. Hey, we got some first-time watchers. Make sure you got a pot of coffee on as we settle in here. We have our good friend Jimbo Bernicki also in the lineup. Curveball dropped in for ball 3. You can see that curveball grip and how it just floats. Fujioka showing some excellent plate discipline, forcing Takinaka to come to him. The Latte fans are certainly making their presence known here in Sendai. 3-0 on the way. That'll be low for ball 4. Pure Hedgehog making a joke. Yeah, brew some L coffee, a.k.a. Gregory Polanco. Marines getting something cooking here. They won yesterday's game 6-1 with Marines starter Yuji Nishino throwing a 3-hitter, 1-run complete game. Then again, he only struck out 1 guy. Marines lead the season series 4-2. Doug Rafferty commenting on his preferred league to follow. No comment. Shogo Nakamura now, the captain of the Chiba Lotte Marines and their second baseman. Stepping in here, getting a good stretch. Takinaka. Wait for the sign from Yasuda. First pitch on the ground, right to Kurokawa. On to second for 1, in time for the double play. Your Japanese terminology, getsu. Get 2. Double play. Ikeda advances to third on the grounder, but good fielding there by Kurokawa to turn the 5-4-3 around the horn.
That's really how it's going for Nakamura all season. It just seems like every time he hits it, it's right towards somebody.
You saw there that 199 batting average, atypical for Shogo Nakamura, former Golden Glover and All-Star and Best 9. Polanco watches a curveball sail in for strike 1. We've commented that incredibly slow curve from Takinaka. That thing was barely clocking the speed limit on the highway. Gregory Polanco, the lone foreign batter, swings over top of another slow curve. Count quickly 0-2. But you have to admit, as a foreign batter coming over to Japan, having your own theme song, that's got to be part of the appeal, right? It's not just about the food. Polanco drilled to center field. That'll fall for a base hit. Tatsumi misread it. And there you go, Gregory Polanco, RBI single. Marines leap out to a 1-0 lead. Does Gregory Polanco have any relationship to Placido? That is an excellent question. They're both from the Dominican Republic, after all. I do not see that as the case. I do see that Placido Polanco is a close friend of Albert Pujols, who was the godfather to Polanco's son, but not this Polanco. Third baseman Hisanori Yasuda will watch a cut fastball zoom past ball 1.
Polanco showing a bit of excitement on that hit. He hasn't had a hit, and going back to May 11th, he hasn't had a hit. It's been a big, large 0-4 for him.
Well, that's a hit and an RBI.
Marines fans hoping that's a start of something nice.
Two-seamer from Takinaka outside ball 2. That'll be another two-seamer low for ball 3. Yasuda has quite the accomplished international career. He actually participated in both the under-18 and under-23 World Cups for Japan, earning bronze and silver respectively. 3-0 on the way. That's well outside for ball 4. Runners at first and second with 2 down now for the Marines. And from one of their youngest players to one of their eldest, senior statesman Katsuya Kakunaka coming to the plate. There are not too many holdovers from the 2010 Japan Series team left within the Lotte organization. Kakunaka is one of them. This is his 17th season in NPB. Takinaka got himself out of a jam, worked himself back into one. Polanco on second, Yasuda at first. Slow curveball right to Kurokawa, and once again, Fumiya gets an out. So the bleeding is stemmed. The Marines only get the lone run off a Gregory Polanco RBI single. It'll be Yamasaki, Ogo, and Shimauchi up for the Eagles in the bottom of the first. Get settled in, folks. We're going to be here for a good chunk of the night. The Midnight Matinee on the Pacific League English YouTube channel. I honestly don't know when the Flame Jets showed up here at Rakuten Mobile Park Miyagi. When I visited back in 2019, they certainly were not there. Just shows the kind of investment that Rakuten has made in this ballpark since acquiring the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles as an expansion team in 2005. See there, that's the Polanco RBI single, line drive into center field. Gregory seems to be pleased with himself. There's the starting pitcher for the Chiba Lotte Marines in today's game, Daiki Iwashita. 4-pitch mix, fastball, slider, changeup, splitter. The latter of those, his best pitch. Usually sit in the 89 to 91 mile an hour range on his fastball. He's a rotation member between 2021 and 2019, but only made 14 appearances last year. We're trying to remember if that was due to injury or not. Tsuyoshi Yamasaki skies this one to left. Kakunaka on the track hauls it in. 1 pitch, 1 out.
He underwent right elbow surgery in March and didn't return until August.
You are the Marines fan, you would know.
We're impartial here.
As I sit here in my Masahiro Tanaka Rakuten Eagles jersey, I have a jersey for each of the PL6 teams. I always wear the home club when we're doing these broadcasts. And now the Rakuten Eagles Oendan, the cheer section in left field, gets to flex their vocal cords. Here's Yuya Ogo, the right fielder today. Watches ball 1 from Iwashita outside the zone. See a 204 batting average, but 1 home run. This is the first time Ogo's really had any extended time with the top club. In his previous 4 seasons with the Eagles, he usually splits time between the top club and the farm team. Unlike in the majors, there are only 1 farm team for most clubs here in Japan. 2-0 on the way. Low, ball 3.
And they can send someone up and down as much as they want, correct? It's not like, options or designations, right?
There is a 10-day waiting period if someone is deregistered from the top team. Strike one pumped in there with a fastball. But otherwise, yeah, there's no optioning. There's no waivers or DFA. You can yo-yo guys up and down as much as you like. And in fact, some teams do that to keep their starters on a decent rotation. Ogo works a one-out walk. First runner aboard for the Eagles. Now, it's interesting to note, in other broadcasts, you'll usually hear trumpets in the outfield Owendon, but not here at Rakuten Mobile Park Miyagi. The Eagles Owendon, the cheer section, uses a synthesizer, a keyboard, whereas the visiting outfield cheer section just go with drums. The reason for that, there's a hospital near the ballpark, and they're trying to keep the noise level moderate during games. Hiroaki Shimauchi, the left fielder, won a Best 9 award last year, one of those holdovers from the 2013 Japan Series winning team. Well, just ball one with a fastball just at the bottom of the zone. There's another former major leaguer himself in Kazunari Ishii, the manager for the Rakuten Golden Eagles. Low with a forkball. Count 2-0. Sorry, Kazuhisa Ishii. Kazunari Ishii is still very much with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Waiting on the 2-0 from Iwashita now. Shimauchi. Fastball in for strike one. Kazuhisa Ishii originally played with the Swallows in the other league before bouncing over to the Los Angeles Dodgers from 2002 to 2004, the New York Mets in 2005 before returning to the Swallows for 2 seasons and then joining the Seibu Lions from 2008 to 2013, winning a Japan Series with that club in 2008. In 2018, Ishii became the GM of the Rakuten Golden Eagles, and in 2021 he took over the managerial job as well. He's the one man running this organization. That
Wait, so he's both right now?
That is correct.
Next he'll be a player manager.
That age 49, I doubt it.
He's a GM, he can sign himself though.
You're not that desperate for pitching help, I swear. Shimauchi laces this one, but that's going to find the expensive seats over in the right field corner. That thing was smoked. Shimauchi does have some pop in his bat. He's had double-digit home runs for a good many seasons. Shimauchi can tell he just missed that one. Daniel was watching a video on the Chiba Lotte Marines win in 2005. That was the first win in Chiba for this franchise. Iwashita is going to do a courtesy check over on Ogo. If you have been listening to the podcast with Mike, Jimbo Bernicki, and myself, our first episode, we discussed the 33-4 number associated with that particular Japan series. Shimauchi will foul this in towards the visitor's dugout. Ogo's going to get his steps in today. Chased back to first base. Hit and run was on. Ogo trying to avoid a double play. Full count on the way from Iwashita. Shimauchi. Curveball down, but not necessary to throw out Ogo. Shimauchi works a one-out walk. Runners at first and second now with one of the most dangerous bats on this Eagles team coming to the plate, Hideto Asamura. If you're talking about one of the most premium players in Japan's history, Hideto Asamura has to be in the conversation. Should be getting to 2,000 hits either this season or next. Also a pending free agent. That one's fouled towards the visitors' dugout. Strike one. Asamura acquired the captaincy this inning, or this season. Previously, that C was on the jersey of Eigoro Mogi. But with good reason. You're talking about an Olympics champion, a Premier 12 champion, best 9 last year, and a 739 OPS on the 2023 season so far. Runners at first and second with one out. 0-1 on the way from Iwashita. That sailed up and away. Ball one. Just at the edge of that strike zone graphic.
Wondering if that captaincy plays a role in free agency discussions.
One has to wonder. He came to Rakuten as a free agent, and the Eagles are not foreign to spending on talent. They did bring Masahiro Tanaka back after all, to great success. Lays off that breaking ball, count is 2-1. Ooh, that is a very good checked swing. You can see how much power he puts behind that rear leg of his. Hideto Asamura led the Pacific League in home runs in 2020, but since then has reinvented himself very much as an on-base machine. High, ball 3. Iwashita struggling with the command a little bit, but then again, so did Takinaka. DFC with an interesting comment. I think we can talk about that during the inning break. Let's put a pin on that one, because I can see where he's going with that. 3-1 on the way from Daiki Iwashita. Breaking ball in for a strike. Strike zone graphic says that's a fork ball. That looked very much like a slider there. You can see the pitch grip on the replay. Runners will be going when the pitch is released. Asamura waits. Full count on the way from Daiki Iwashita. On the ground, that's right to Fujioka. On to second. On to first, double play to end the inning. Iwashita gets the ground ball he was looking for. Marines escape with the lead and hold serve. 1-0 through 1. The Midnight Matinee. Alright, we got to talk about this interesting comment by DFC. Do you think the Marines would benefit from having another color to their palette, such as green or beige? I think he's going with a U.S. Marines expression, right? Like trying to go like San Diego Padres camo. What do you think, Mike? You're the Marines fan here.
I'd like to see him dress up in JSTF camo. That'd be pretty cool.
So it's worth pointing out that Marines doesn't refer to an armed military force, but really it's very much around mariners, or the Marine infrastructure. The Chiba Stadium, Zozo Marine Stadium, is on Tokyo Bay, right on the shores of it, and most of their logos involve seagulls. Back when they moved to Chiba in the first place, their logo was that of a ship. And interesting you should mention having other colors in their palette. When they debuted, they had pink as their accent color. Needless to say, some of the foreign batters didn't quite like the sartorial choice, and that's been relegated to only certain jerseys as opposed to being their primary accent. They've basically stuck with monochrome since about 1995.
They very sparingly go back to those old jerseys for throwback and nostalgia games.
Hey, I'll give them this much. The gray CLM 30th anniversary jerseys they introduced last year, sharp look. These jerseys as well are brand new this year. The black with the M on it. Takinaka with the highway speed curveball for a strike.
Some of these teams have a new jersey design every season, it seems.
Well, it's a way to keep it fresh. Fastball. Strike 2. Like the Lions introduced a new jersey design for their home jersey with a single piping along the front, as well as a slight adjustment to their team colors.
I'm fine with those as long as we're not approaching European soccer levels.
Fair. I mean, we are talking about someone who teams with a confectioner and a internet company on the jersey front. 1-2 on the way from Takinaka. Curveball bounced in. Count goes to 2-2. It's Hiromi Oka at the plate. The center fielder for the Marines today. If you remember from the Making the Pitch series from 2022, Steve Novosel, our designated Marines fan, as Oka lifts this one into right, Ogo tracks it down, one away. He mentioned that Oka had a couple of walk-off hits and was awarded with a t-shirt design being sold in the merch store for each of them. So flair for the dramatic, as you can see there, but Ogo on the warning track. Hauls it in. One away for Toshiya Sato, the catcher here. Cut fastball low for ball 1. Sato, one of the 2 or 3 catchers that the Marines will use in rotation. Curveball in for a strike. You'll also see Tamura, the senior catcher, has been with the club for a decade. Sato drilled to right center field, and that one is gone to the Owendon! Toshiya Sato, solo shot, and the Marines have doubled their lead. It's 2-0 in the top of the second.
Well, in the next episode of podcast, I guess I'll stop talking about the lack of home runs from this point on.
No, keep talking about it. I mean, otherwise, they may never come. It's called the reverse jinx. Lean into it. Second home run of the season for Toshiya Sato.
First episode, we mentioned Polanco, and then he hit 2, I think. Guess it works.
Taiga Hirasawa, the right fielder, watching strike 1 sail past. That's grounded to second. Asamura, former Golden Glover, makes the out 2 away. Another sartorial question from DFC. Does the M look like the Miami Marlins M? I can kind of see if you tilt your head a little bit, but trust me, it's not the most heinous logo copying in NPB. Go take a look at the Carps hat. Go take a look at the Reds hat. Then again, a lot of teams have used that particular C, so I won't harp on them too much. Fastball low for ball 1. Back around to Ikeda, second time through the lineup. You see that gaudy 429 batting average, but small sample size. Curveball fools him, strike 1.
I've never had my Marines hat mistaken for a Marlins hat, but that's also because the Marlins probably don't have any fans in the area, so nobody really notices.
Spicy take. Ikeda grounds this one to Yamasaki, and on to first in time. Just a solo home run as more damage for Takinaka. It'll be Franco, Daichi Suzuki, and Tatsumi coming up for the Eagles in the bottom of the second. So I mentioned earlier that Rakuten invested a lot of money in renovating the ballpark here in Sendai. You can see the Ferris wheel out in left field. There's also an entire amusement park out there. And most notable for me and anyone else who decides to visit, a craft beer stand with breweries from all over the Tohoku region. Okay, looks like we've got a pitching change already for the Chiba Lotte Marines. That may have been what Masato Yoshii was talking about. Once we get information on who the pitcher is, we'll be able to relay that on to you. Short hook for Iwashita.
So he was more of an opener than a starter.
Which is not something we've seen in NPB. I remember the fighters were starting to do that with Chihiro Kaneko to try and stretch out his arm a little bit. Wally mentioning the craft... complimenting the craft beer stands. Yeah, between my second and third trips to Japan, craft beer really took off. Some of the ballparks are selling their own craft beer, but the Eagles are just bringing them in from elsewhere in Tohoku. Atsuya Hirohata will be the new pitcher into the game. Second year in the as a professional. This is his first with substantial innings with the club and a 2.7 ERA over 6 2/3 innings. I'll take it.
And what was your favorite craft beer? Do you remember?
The Eagles had a wheat beer available in the left field stands when I was there in 2019. On a hot day, nothing's more crushable.
Crushable? Like, is it not in a glass?
Well, terminology. Anyways, Michael Franco waits on the first pitch. Hirohata outside for ball one. There's a curveball. Looks a little bit similar than Takinaka's, but this one might get a speeding ticket. For foreign batters, not every foreign batter will get their own song. This song has been used for multiple Eagles foreign hitters. When I was there, it was for Jabari Blash, former Yankees legend. Fastball in, strike one. Count 2-1 now on Michael Franco. Franco had quite the auspicious debut with the Eagles. Came a triple away from the cycle. Count is even at 2s. At the bottom of the zone there. Hirohata comes set. Low for ball 3. You see there that Shuto as one of the pitch options for Hirohata. Shuto, or a shoot ball, is a very distinctly Japanese pitch in that it has arm side run, the opposite of a cutter. And Franco will work the leadoff walk. Eagles trying to come back. Daiichi Suzuki, a former Marine himself, will be coming to the plate. As you can see from yesterday's game, Daiichi Suzuki potted the lone run for the Eagles against Yuji Nishino, who otherwise cruised that game.
I remember there being a lot of disappointment amongst the Marines fan base when they failed to re-sign him.
If memory serves, Manabu Mima went from Rakuten to Lotte in the same offseason, so it was almost like a quasi-trade. 150 on the radar gun, so you see there Hirohata starting to bring a little bit of the mustard on the sausage there. I am mixing my metaphors. Heat Hot stuff. Fireball. Daichi Suzuki does bring with himself a rather substantial awards cabinet. 3 Best Nines, a Golden Glove, and 4 All-Star nominations. Speaking of which, All-Star nominations are open for this year's All-Star game. If you're willing to brave the machine translation, you too can vote for your favorite Pacific League players. Inside ball 3, Daichi Suzuki turning the cheek at that two-seamer. We have a conversation about barcades going on in the chat. Fastball. Strike 1.
I'm a teetotaler. It's all Greek to me.
Fair enough, Mike. So next break, I'm going to finish that thought I started on about the ballpark here in Sendai. Hello, Aiden. Thank you for joining us. Suzuki skies this one, but that one might bring out the cicada whistles. That's into foul territory. Another mainstay of Japanese baseball. The whistles to warn people, hey, you gotta, turn your peepers upward. Not every section has netting. And the last thing you need is for something to get landed in your lap. We'll have an out-of-town scoreboard update as well. Hey, Danny joining from Japan. Good to see you. Daichi Suzuki lined into right field. Base hit. Hirasawa will hold Franco to second. We're not going to talk about the team in the other league. This is Pacific League TV. Central League TV does not exist. Unfortunately, Masterman, we do not have a video going over fan chants and such. You can try to find some of those on YouTube. Those are actually run by the fan clubs in the outfield. Those aren't provided by the team themselves for some teams. So, with a little bit of Googling, with a little bit of looking on YouTube for the katakana of the team names, you'll be able to cheer along at home. All right, Ryosuke Tatsumi, Golden Glover center fielder, lays down a picture-perfect bunt, but they're going to get the lead runner at first. Franco couldn't get to the base in time. Tatsumi rejoined the top club earlier today. Sent him down to the farm just to give him a chance to recombobulate after a slow start to the season. Time will tell if that will work. Good stretch there by Yasuda to get the force out at third. DFC commenting on the splitter and forkball being prevalent over here in the league, and the rarity in American pitchers to use the pitch. Ditto for the Shuto. Here's Yuma Yasuda, the catcher. Runners at first and second with one out. Hirohata. That'll be a cutter for strike 1. You can hear one of the chants themes coming out from the Rakuten cheer section. Most teams have like 3 chants themes when there's runners in scoring position.
And on top of that, you have player-specific chants themes.
That's true. Former Orcs Buffalo Masataka Yoshida had one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure Ginji, my homeboy here for the Eagles, has one of his own. I sat out in the Eagles left field stands where the Owen Don was for their game against the Buffaloes back in 2019. Eagles won that one 3-1. In fact, the Eagles went 3-0 at all 3 games I went to during my trip. Scorched into foul territory, speed on speed. Yasuda himself seemed a little impressed at being able to get that angle on the pitch. 1 down, 0-2 count. Yuma Yasuda, the second-year catcher for these Rakuten Eagles, joining the rotation with Hikaru Ota and Ginjiro Sumitani. 0-2 on the way. They were expecting a pitch out. Sato called for one. That's not even on the strike zone graphic anymore. Aidan commenting he wants to see Yamamoto or Oroki Sasaki come to an MLB team. Well, hey, no need to wait for them to come to an MLB team. Watch them here on the Pacific League. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was scratched from his most recent start. Not expected to be a long-term injury. Oroki Sasaki has, of course, been dealing with a finger blister issue, but I think he's supposed to be coming back next week.
Must be one severe blister to miss pretty much.
Hey, I'm a Blue Jays fan. Aaron Sanchez and his blisters were the source of many headaches back in the mid-2010s. Trust me. But anyways, if you want to watch more Pacific League Baseball, you can watch games without our lovely voices, or any lovely voices for that matter, on watchdingo.com for free. Just look for the Baseball Network. All 3 games will be live cast as they happen, just without commentary. If you do want commentary, and you don't mind that it's not us, FTF Sports carries a game of the day every day, except Mondays at 1 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be time shifted, but hey, it's baseball for lunch. Can't go wrong with that. Thoughts on Kodai Senga? I'm glad he's not pitching for the Hawks anymore. No, it's good to see him succeed in the majors. We knew he was capable of it. That's low ball 4. Hirohata has walked the bases full. Were it not for that bunt, nobody'd be out. Castle with an interesting question. Blue Jays and the Marines use better dirt on the field. Well, I'm trying to remember. Mike, does Zozoma have just the sliding pits or a full dirt infield?
I think it's just the sliding pits.
So I'm going to go with the Blue Jays by default on that. Here at Rakuten Mobile Park, Miyagi. That's real grass, by the way. Charge! Fumiya Kurokawa also called up to the top club. See, they're batting 167, but a very small sample size. Bases are loaded. Only a 583 OPS so far on the season. This is his 4th season with the Eagles. That includes 10 games as a 19-year-old 3 years ago. Will, if you're looking for websites you can watch PL games on, that's watchdingo.com, FTF Sports, or PacificLeague.com, where you can subscribe to Pacific League TV. For 1,500 yen a month, or around $15 US, watch all games with commentary or not, as well as a broadcast archive going back a full decade, along with farm team games. Theodore pulling for a double play here. Sam Castle making a joke about Watch Dingo. Okay. Quick check-in on the other game going on. Top of the 3rd, York's Buffaloes are staked to a 3-0 lead. Jarrell Cotton into the game. Kurokawa skies this one that might be deep enough to score a run. Hirasawa back on it. Tagging and scoring will be Daiichi Suzuki. And the Eagles are on the board. Cuts the deficit in half, 2-1. RBI sac fly for Kurokawa. You see the wind blowing out to right according to the flags earlier. Ryota Takinaka likes this post. David Wills checking in from New Zealand. Hey, this isn't too terrible a time zone change for you, at least. There's even a former Australian Baseball League team member here in this game. I'll reveal who later on. Curveball from Hirahata misses outside. Ball one. DFC, yes, that is the first baseman, Raito Ikeda, wearing 00 for the Marines. He can't wear single 0. Takashi Ogino has that one. And wearing 0 for the Eagles, that would be Fumiya Kurokawa. 0 and 00 are a lot more common here in Japan than in the States. Mostly because jeering isn't really a thing here. And you can imagine the jeers of, hey, is 0 your jersey number or your IQ?
Well, that's not very nice.
Danny Riz asking who's got the best bullpen in the Pacific League. That's tough. SoftBank has that 4-1-2 punch of Livan Moinelo and Roberto Osuna. But the Marines are leading the whole league in FIP, and they've got Naoya Masuda as the slam-the-door closer. Tsuyoshi Yamazaki, the shortstop. 722 OPS so far on the season. One of the hot bats here with this Eagles team. He'd love to get an RBI and tie this game up. Runners at the corners with 2 down. Outside ball 3. A lot of good questions. We'll get to them in due time. Who's the best physical bullpens? Well, most of the time those are hidden under the stands. I gotta go with Balloonadome for those because they are actually in foul territory and exposed. Ah, you're thinking of Hirokazu Sawamura. That's right, Danny Riz. Strike 2 from Hirohata. Sawamura struck the Randy Arozarena pose in a save earlier this season and looked pretty darn cool doing it. Clearly some WBC magic rubbing off. Looks like we got a Cleveland fan checking in, pulling for Chibalote. Those kids out in the cheery section clapping those bats together as hard as they can. Full count on the way to Yamazaki. Skied to center right field. Taiga Hirasawa into foul territory. I can't tell if he made the catch. Nope, looks like that one found the stands. Theodore mentioning Sawamura fears the pitch clock. That's right, there's no pitch clock, there's no shift ban. None of that Manfred Mann stuff. This is baseball at its purest and its finest. And Wales Delta. Buongiorno. Thank you for tuning in. And we are broadcasting games about once a month. Our next one will be June 25th at midnight Eastern. That one's going to be another one sent into the stands. Bit of an at-bat struggle here between Hirohata and Yamasaki. Jake Little with an interesting question. Are the numbers 1 to 10 given the same level of prestige they are in the States? In some cases, some teams, those numbers have been retired. But the number with the most prestige is the pitching ace number 18. Another full count on the way from Hirohata. Yamasaki keeps spoiling them. 151 on the radar gun. So if you want to know who the best pitcher is for a team, look for the guy wearing 18. That's Tanaka for these Eagles. That's Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Oryx Buffaloes.
It's 11 for the Fighters, isn't it?
Right, because that number was shared by both Ohtani and Darvish. That's chopped up the middle, right back to Hirohata. On to first to end the inning. So the Eagles get one back, but the Marines still are holding the lead through 2-1 Chibalote here on the Midnight Matinee. So the point I've been trying to make about the stadium here is that for the Lotte franchise, this is familiar territory. Back in the 1970s, the Lotte Orions played a substantial number of their games here in Sendai. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were actually challenging for a Japan series one of those years, before eventually moving to Kawasaki in the Tokyo suburbs towards the end of the 70s, and then to their current home on the eastern shores of Tokyo Bay, the Chiba Marine Stadium, in 1992.
To answer your question, Theodore, it's not very easy to access it all. It's either owned by the teams themselves, or if not by them, it's owned by the original broadcasting TV station.
Question from DFC, does the NPB have the same mound rules as MLB? They do keep that much common. They do have a slightly different ball, though. The ball in NPB is pre-tacked with a substance to improve grip, so they don't have any sticky substance checks. Which team in the Pacific League has the best bleacher seats? Ooh. Oh, that's a toughie. I haven't been to Escon Field, so I can't say anything about those, but I got a soft spot for the ones here at Rakuten Mobile Park, Miyagi. And the Eagles have an English language website where, if you're visiting Japan, they'll be happy to sell you tickets.
Don't think I've ever sat in bleachers anywhere. I didn't even know they had them.
Yudai Fujioka now, leading off the top of the third. Takinaka throws off the cutter. Strike one. Sorry, Takinaka, not Tanaka. My mistake. I have to enunciate a little bit better. There's the highway speed curveball. Dropped in for ball one. Danny Riz asking if we live in Japan. No. Otherwise, this would be a lot easier. It's midnight where we live. Mike's in Philadelphia area. I'm in Toronto. Curveball outside, strike two.
But there's always hope.
Yeah, I mean, you visited earlier in the season. I'm visiting later in the season. Asking on the appeal, no go. Forkball dropped in for ball two. Curveball struck on the ground. Asamura gobbles it up. One away. Tip of the hat to Asamura there. All right, we got a fellow Pennsylvanian in the chat here, rooting for the Marines because of Gregory Polanco. Shogo Nakamura up at the plate now. as mentioned, 2-time Golden Glover, 2-time All-Star, and Best 9 winner. I believe that was in 2021. And you can hear the cheers he's getting from that outfield section. Nakamura has signed a long-term extension to stick with the Marines as their second baseman. Takinaka gets his sign from Yasuda. 2-0 on the way to Nakamura. Curveball bounced in the dirt. Count moves to 3-0. Wally Q asking which team Shintaro Fujinami ends up with in NPB next year. I'm honestly not sure he goes back. I mean, Kohei Arihara took a couple seasons. He's back with the SoftBank Hawks and should be with a major league club soon. Fastball in for strike one. Mike, what do you think?
I think he'd probably go back home to Koshin.
3-1 on the way from Takinaka. Fastball inside strike two. Danny Riz providing the out-of-town scoreboard update for me. Thank you. I'll get to that in the next break. Full count, Takinaka. Shogo Nakamura, line towards center field. Tatsumi makes the grab. 60% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. The other 40% by Tatsumi. There's a reason he's got the golden gloves, folks. He makes it look so easy out there. Masterman, have you contributed to the Blue Jays' admirable rate of hot dog consumption for Ludi Dog Nights? No, I do not have that dog in me. I haven't actually been to the Dome for one of those games.
Looney?
Canadian dollar. There's a Canadian loon on the coin. Tell me you've never heard that.
I just never heard of Looney Dog Night.
So yeah, the hot dogs are only $1 a piece.
Just doesn't roll off the tongue as easily.
Polanco sends this into right field, ranging back. Asamuda hauls it in. DFC, they have no quarrel with ham. The sponsor's name is Nippon Ham. There's a hyphen there. Do not ignore the hyphen.
I think he's asked that every broadcast since the first one.
At this point, it's a running gag. That's fair. Pacific League TV is powered and sponsored by Persol. No, not the sunglasses brand. That's short for Personnel Solutions. Pacific League TV not only is sponsored by them, but also today is Persol Day at Rakuten Mobile Park Miyagi. The first 15,000 fans to the ballpark got a free sticker and baseball card.
I think that's a missed opportunity to give out a Persol parasol.
You'd think.
Like one of those little hat ones.
Okay, no, that's the Swallows thing, man. We can't hijack their stuff. Wales Delta asking, do you think that the Ham Fighters have a shot to go to the playoffs with Shinjo? They're not that far out of the playoff chase right now. I think they're only 3 back of both the Buffaloes and Hawks. They won 4 in a row. They are on a bit of a hot streak. Then again, they are now currently down 4-0 to the Orcs Buffaloes in the bottom of the third. The other game in the Pacific League starting in about 5 minutes will be the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and Koya Fuji hosting the Saitama Seibu Lions and Chihiro Sumida. Yuya Ogo at the plate now. Hirohata, follower in today's game. Ogo skies this one. That's into the backstop. Waiting under it, Sato. One away. All right. 40 or so people watching right now. Thank y'all for joining us. Pierre commenting on the sartorial choice, the New Age Games jerseys, aka the Vancouver Canucks Flying V. Mike and I have very, very conflicting opinions, as you can hear on the latest episode of the podcast, available right now on this YouTube channel you're watching. Shimauchi waiting on the 1-0 pitch from Hirohata. Swing and a miss, strike one. Pittsburgh asking about the chairs in the dugout, the racing chairs, the Recaros. I think there's a sponsorship involved there. Not every stadium has them. I think that's exclusive here to Rakumo. Shimauchi, this one's also going to find foul territory, but Yasuda's the one calling for it. 2 away. The podcast Iwi is called PAcast, as in Pacific League. It's right here on the same YouTube channel. You can just look under the playlists for PAcast. Mike, Jimbo, and I breaking down the week's news, headlines, checking in on our friends over in the majors, as well as a little bit of history. Robert Sanchez, a writer on Deadline. Hey, happy to keep you company. Asamura skies this one into right. Taiga Hirasawa into the... Oh! Right up against the wall. That may be a top 20 plays candidate. Taiga Hirasawa takes it on the chin to take away extra bases from Asamura. Through 3, it's 2-1 Marines. As the Marines faithful decked out in their road black jerseys, honor Hirasawa. Now, who was the Australian in the chat? Because that's the reference I was going to make. Taiga Hirasawa participated in the Australian Baseball League in 2018 and 2019 offseason. He's primarily an infielder. He was a first-round pick for the Marines back in the 2015 draft. This has been a surprising number of Japanese players who've gone to the Australian Baseball League, including one of my favorites, Orcs Buffalo third baseman Yuma Mune. Australia is where he learned how to play third base. Otherwise, he was an outfielder. Danny Riz dropping more knowledge on us. The Orcs Buffaloes now lead the Nippon Ham Fighters 5-0 in the bottom of the third. Leandro Cedeno debuting with the top club. Trying to see if we got any RBI information on that game. Looks like Masahiro Nishino with a RBI double. The most recent score. We got some hot dog fans in the chat here. Impressive. Where does LeRon Lee rank all-time in Shiba Latte history? Well, considering he never actually played for the Marines, he was a Latte Orion. Hard to say, but the Lee brothers are well-known in Japan. Takinaka with a highway speed curve, strike one. Swing and a miss, strike two. Cut fastball in there. Takinaka has had issues with the long ball, but so far has been able to keep the Eagles in this game. Yasuda set up outside. It'll be a burnt pitch for ball one. That curveball is caught by Tatsumi. Might have gone a couple too many times to the well there, Takinaka, but worked out for him. Yosuke Tatsumi, the Golden Glove in center field. DFC, they're brothers. That's why. In fact, they released a single in Japan together called Baseball Boogie.
I found that in a thrift store.
I've seen the music video. I think their niece, or one of the two's daughters, did an animated music video for the single. It's quite cute. Kakunaka stepping in here. As previously mentioned, the elder statesman of this Marines lineup and organization. That's grounded to second. Asamura's been busy tonight. That'll be the second out of the inning. Rank all the Pacific League teams by their hot dogs. Oh man, see, I didn't eat hot dogs when I was over there. I was big on the edamame, the long potato. In Sendai, the chicken karage cart they had outside of Zozoma. Fastball in for strike one. I'm making myself hungry. I gotta stop. Hiromi Oka watches a fastball outside, ball one. Oka was added from the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters in 2018. This is his 10th pro season, 5th with the Marines. That one's sliced foul. Count is 1-2.
So wait, glizzy means hot dog?
What, aren't you up with a Zoomer terminology these days?
I try not to be anymore. It's like the Simpsons quote, "What's new is scary."
And it'll happen to you!
Happens every day.
But Theodore, was it a better chili cheese dog because it was at Tokyo Dome? Low, ball two with a fastball. "52 pitches here on the top of the fourth. Takinaka is at least working a decent pitch count. Thank you for picking up on the joke, Theodore. Line into center field. Past Tatsumi. Oka is going to be digging for second. Shimauchi's backing up the play. Oka's thinking of three, and he's in there with a triple. Not sure if they're going to score that single an error or a legitimate triple, but Hiromi Oka, showing off the flair for the dramatic, turns on the afterburners. Just out of the reach. That'll bring up Toshiya Sato, who already has a solo home run to his name in today's ball game. With an RBI chance, 2 down. Here's a replay of that solo shot to right. One thing I've noticed is that the Marines Owendon does seem to use first names for player chants a lot more often than last names. Are we seriously going to add Glizzy God as a nickname for Toshiya Sato? Is that going to be a thing now?
That's going on my score sheet.
Oh, for booting up cold.
As soon as I can find an
counts.
eraser.
Curveball floated in, strike one. Chat, y'all are having yourselves a good time. And so are we! Takinaka trying to strand that runner at third. Another curveball for strike two. That pitch has really been working for Takinaka today. Most curveballs you'll see in the 70 mile per hour range or like the 80s. This one, to do the conversion, this one's only 60 miles an hour. That's on the ground. Asamada, deep in the hole, ends the inning. Oka is stranded at third, so the triple matters not. Through 3.5, Marines 2, Eagles 1.
I was not aware there was a modern style catcher mask. Can you draw it for me? What does it look like? So I take it all the glizzy talk's going to continue to happen during the next Nippon Ham game? I'd hope. No, I'm by myself. I can do anything I want. You ate 15 of them on the rooftop at Wrigley Field? That doesn't sound healthy. Wait, they give you unlimited food for being 13 or 14? What is going on in Chicago? And there's Michael Franco getting a hit. He's been trying to get a lot more of them recently.
Daiichi Suzuki stepping in here, second at bat of the game. Hirohata entering his third inning of work. See, Sam Castle, the joke was all about red hots for fastballs, and you whiffed on it. Anyways, Michael Franco's over at first. Curveball dropped in for strike one.
I guess he has poor bat speed.
Oof. Love it. And yeah, it's interesting that there's primarily the old school catcher masks. All right, there's another hit. Daiichi Suzuki with a single. Runners at first and second with none out for the Eagles. Squares up the fastball right back through the box. There's a view from the left field stands, the cheering section. And now Ryosuke Tatsumi with an RBI chance. Runners at first and second, none out. Will be interesting to see if Kazuhisa Ishii calls for a bunt in this situation as well. Danny Riz with a scoring update on our behalf. Appreciate it. Koki Fukuda with the 2-run home run over at Kyocera Dome. Buffalo's lead cut down to 5-2. Motoki Higa, now the pitcher of record. Tatsumi swings and misses over the curveball. Also getting underway. Top of the first, runners at the corners for the Lions against Koya Fuji at PayPay Dome. One on the way. Hirohata deals. Chopper up the middle. That will be a double play. Fujioka 6-4.
Probably wishing he had dropped the bunt signal after that.
Always bunt. Good fielding by Fujioka. That one may be on the top 20 plays. Ishii looking on. Runner at third with 2 down now. Coming to the plate is Yuma Yasuda, the catcher. Walked in his last appearance. Keeping up that 327 on base. Missing the high heat there. You can tell he regrets the timing there. I just realized I don't think we've had a strikeout this game yet. Not trying to will it into existence, just pointing it out. 0-1 on the way. High, ball 1.
You are correct. Between all 3 pitchers, no strikeouts.
Maybe one of the reasons why we're chugging along at a good clip. It's 1:15 in the morning here in the Eastern Time Zone, or 2:15 Japan time. If you're just joining us, hello! It's the Midnight Matinee on Pacific League English YouTube channel. Called strike 2. Forkball, catching enough of the zone. Look at the Vulcan grip on that from Hirohata. My fingers are hurting in sympathy. Franco stands at third. He's the tying run. Hirohata up to 50 pitches with his delivery here. Did he go? No. As we get a shot of the umpires, DFC with the interesting question, are there Japanese equivalents to some of the poor umpires as in the States? Honestly, I can say I've never had a quibble with an umpire in Japan. They're more notable for their exaggerated strike 3 calls than any real issues with quality.
You gotta go back to the 60s for the last time there was a notable issue like that.
2-2 on the way from Hirohata. Swing and a miss, strike 3. I did speak it into existence. I have the power. Through 4, Marines hold the lead 2-1. It'll be Hirasawa, Ikeda, Fujioka up for Chibalote in the top of the 5th here on the Midnight Matinee, the Pacific League English YouTube channel. Low-scoring affair so far, considering yesterday's game was 6-1 for the Marines. Marines are on a bit of a burner lately, 4-0-1 in their last 5. They're now staked to a 2.5-game lead over the Buffaloes and Hawks. And they're doing this despite a offense that is not the greatest. As someone pointed out on Twitter, the Marines are last in WRC+, but first in FIP and UZR. So the pitching and defense is carrying this club. Makes sense. Masato Yoshi used to be a pitching coach for this team.
So I know what FIP is, but what was that last one?
UZR for us Canadians, and if you are Canadian, happy Victoria Day weekend. It's Ultimate Zone Rating. It's a measure of how much ground a fielder can cover when making plays.
Isn't that just called, like, fielder rating? Like on that 20 to 80 scale?
20 to 80 is a scouting range. If you're more of the sabermetric type, you're looking to UZR as an advanced stat. Fielding percentage is more just like how many errors versus how many plays you successfully make.
When I play out of the park, I just sign the guy with the bigger number, usually.
Yeah, I play out of the park too, but unfortunately you can't play this league anymore. Taiga Hitasawa grounded out in his first appearance here. He's leading off at top of the 5th. Low, ball 1. Forkball dropped in. DFC, thank you for joining us. Have a good night's rest. Major Bats 25 asking, when does Sasaki pitch? That is an excellent question. He's been dealing with blister issues, so we are waiting for word from the Marines when his next start will be. Slow curve in for ball 2.
I think it was the 15th, and then it got moved to the 17th, and now we're just kind of in limbo at this point.
I mean, you're talking about the golden goose of the latte rotation. It's not someone you want to rush back.
Oh, like I said on the podcast, which everyone should go listen to, if he doesn't feel right, then he does not feel right.
As previously mentioned, we have a podcast now on the channel. Go listen to it. Hirasawa grounds out Yamasaki. Long throw, but on the money. 1 away here on the top of the 5th.
1番ファースト池田
Ikeda may have gaudy looking numbers, but there are some serious small sample size going on here. Only played in 11 games last season, but had 4 hits and an RBI yesterday, and already has a leadoff single here in tonight's game. I love the action on that curveball. Takinaka's is a beauty to behold. Masterman, we do not currently have the podcast on RSS feed or a podcast app. It's actually right here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and click the bell to receive notifications for when we upload. You'll be able to see highlights, both in English and with the original Japanese audio, as well as be notified of when we're going live with a midnight matinee or our Baseball for Breakfast broadcasts. Roderick also staying up late in the Eastern time zone from Tampa, Florida. Home of the best team in the American League East for now. Good frame job by Yasuda to haul that one in. Strike 2 called. I tried to learn how to throw a curveball. Never could quite get the hang of it. Because you basically have to contort your hand to throw it with front spin as opposed to back spin. Fastball fouled towards that metal fence up the left field line. And to repeat what our producer has been putting in the chat, our next broadcast on this channel will be Sunday, June 25th. As the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks make their midnight matinee debut this season, alongside the York's Buffaloes as the road team. Masterman, I'm going to chat with our higher-ups and see if we can add it onto a podcast, a Spotify or a Google podcast or something. Because Because that would be pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
I think Spotify lets you put it on like 100 different platforms at once.
Takinaka getting the K, his first of the night, with that highway speed curveball. For those of you following the Imperial system, that one was just a hair under 60. Also
Good old freedom units.
Yep, very nice pitch count for Takinaka so far. 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Fujioka up through the box. Yamasaki can't get to it. That'll roll to Tatsumi. Yudai Fujioka, first hit of the night. Tried the fastball. That's one of the things with Takinaka, is as long as his pitching motion stays identical, it's next to impossible to tell if he's going to get you with a fastball, the cutter, a fork, or that ridiculously slow curve. Like, that's just on the verge of becoming an eephus, which is one of my favorite baseball terms. Well, I'm not sure if it actually translates to Japanese. Is ifasu a thing? Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Shogo Nakamura right over top of the slow curve.
I think they just call it slow curve. I don't think they... I think eephus and slow curve are one and the same for the translation.
That's fair. Thank you, Danny Riz, for providing the out-of-town scoreboard update. Our chat is so helpful. How nice are these guys? Shogo Nakamura dumps this one to center field. Base hit. Fujioka heads up base running. He will advance to third. Marines with another 2-out rally going here. Polanco's already got an RBI single today. He's got a chance for another. Nakamura with an inside-out line drive single. We got fans clamoring for hot dogs here. Quick chat with Takinaka on the mound. Some of the infielders. Ishii looking on from the dugout.
Is that what we're calling RISP now? Glizzy time?
This is going to go down as one of those weird broadcasts, isn't it? It's like everyone's punch drunk from staying up too late.
I think they're just drunk.
Could be. Gregory
All that
Polanco,
barcade talk earlier.
The DH today. This is his second season in Japan. His first with the Marines. Last season, he clubbed 20-plus home runs for the Giants in the other league. 96 home runs in the majors from 2014 to 2021. And as Pitt Sports mentioned, a former Pittsburgh Pirate. Yeah, no kidding, Masterman. I mean, if we're starting to build up a meme cachet here, I'm not going to say no. Takinaka looks in. 1-0 on the way. Smoked, but foul. Polanco showing us his swinging motion there. You can tell he wished he could get that one back with a little hop. Bottom of the first over at Pepe Dome. Kurihara's up to bat. Runners at first and second. Chihiro Sumida getting to a little bit of first inning issues. Fastball finds the inner half. Strike 2. Keita Nakagawa with a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 4th. Make it 8-2 Oryx Buffaloes over the Fighters. Dead center, it sounds like. Neat little trivia tidbit thanks to Pittsburgh Sports. Polanco also the owner of the longest hitting streak to start a career. Robert Sanchez asking, Mr. Baseball is one of the greatest baseball movies of all time. I mean, I won't argue about it. Polanco grounded right to Daichi Suzuki. Diving stop. Little hockey goalie-esque there.
So, what would be your favorite baseball movie?
Oh, that's a toughie. Is it cliche to say Moneyball?
My personal opinion, it's the only good one, so.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I do like Mr. Baseball. It's an excellent snippet of what being a foreign batter was like back in those days. Heck, players today still refer to it to get a sense of what they're getting themselves into. Mostly because they had real players consulting and even guest starring in the movie. Keep an eye out for former Hankyu Brave Brad Leslie as the pitcher who chokeslams another guy in the brawl in the climax of the film. Needless to say, Brad Leslie was also notable as a wrestler and as one of the villains on MXC. Right you are, Ken.
Don't know for sure, but would not be surprised if that brawl was based on a real story.
Best baseball film of all time is Naked Gun. Okay, that's a choice. Alright, new pitcher into the game for the Marines. Hirohata only allowed the 1 run. Good work by him. Koshiro Sakamoto into the game now. The left-handed pitcher joined the Marines from the Swallows midway through the 2022 season. According to his profile page on the Marines' home website, the player he's looking forward to playing against most this season, Rao himself, Buffalo's outfielder Yutaro Sugimoto. In 13 appearances so far, Sakamoto sports an ERA of 3 over 12 innings pitched. Has not allowed a home run yet this season. Kurokawa has the Eagles' lone RBI this game. As Sakamoto sails that one for ball 1. Oh, Masterman, that's a good choice too. High ball 2. There is an interesting compilation online of baseball movies based on their accuracy. Based on that, I think I need to watch 42. Heard good things. Fastball pumped in for strike 1. See if I can pull up a scouting report on Sakamoto here. Grounded to Nakamura. 1 away. No such luck for pitch mix. I'll just have to call it as I go. Tsuyoshi Yamasaki, 3rd time through the lineup here for the Eagles. Bottom of the 5th. Marines stake to a 2-1 lead. Chopped on the ground. Bounced off the chest of Ikeda, but recollect himself and collect the ball. Good block. I wonder if they have that sounds almost like a kid doing the announcements over the PA.
Yeah, I was about to say, did he win something, do good in school or something? I just noticed that.
Well, I mean, my local major league team does the junior Sundays where they get the kiddies involved. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the case here. Lord knows, NPB teams do have a lot of promotions.
Had the winning bottle cap.
Ogo watches strike one sailed past. Fastball at 146 kilometers an hour. Outside ball one. It's the first appearance we've seen of the slider that Miyamoto offers. Sorry, Sakamoto. Slider again. Checked swing successful by Ogo. Count is 2-1. Now you'll also hear from the Eagles Owendan. I know someone was asking, Masterman was asking about cheering. There's a little hint you can use. Most of the chants follow the same pattern, where the last line is always katobase, bop, 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 where bop, bop, bop is the player's name. If it's only a two-syllable name, like Ogo's here, they have to elongate the first or the second syllable. Ogo off the pitcher, Sakamoto, right to Nakamura. In time, beat him by a half step. Through 5, the Marines continue to lead 2-1. The midnight matinee as we reach 1:30 in the morning. Who needs a pitch clock? Right here on the Pacific League English YouTube channel. Now, Mike, we don't always broadcast games here. We do average around once a month. What's an excellent way for people who can't stay up to watch us keep in touch with their Pacific League favorites?
With a subscription to Pacific League TV on the Pacific League TV website. I believe it's only 1,400 yen. That's, what, $11 at today's exchange rate? $11 in change. You get all 3 Pacific League games, access to all 6 teams, almost the entire NPB farm team, including the teams from the other league, and archives going back to 2012.
In fact, you'd be able to see the first game I ever attended in NPB. These two teams just at the Marines home stadium. The Marines walked it off in extras, and pretty sure if you look in the broadcast, again, subscribe to Pacific League TV for that, there's a foul ball to third base, and you can see 2 people in Blue Jays t-shirts sitting in the third base stands. One of those is me. What was the first Pacific League game you saw, Mike, in person?
In person, it was Marines, or Oryx at Marines at Zosa Marine Stadium. My friends had gotten us tickets down the first baseline, and the Marines lost 3-1. And I met the mascot because my friend went to go find the mascot and then told him that I flew all the way from the US just to see him. Not true.
Aww.
And then the thing ran over and basically just hugged me for like 5 minutes straight.
How cute.
He didn't sign my hat, though. Made me sad.
As you can see on screen, once again, this broadcast and the chat are making me hungry. There's a Gyoza Fest going on at Rakuten Mobile Park Miyagi from the 26th through to the 2nd. I'm envious. Anyways, halfway through the game, which means it's time for a highlight reel on how we got here. There's Raito Ikeda's 5th hit in as many at-bats to lead off the game. He advanced to second when Fujioka drew a walk. Nakamura grounds to Kurokawa for the around-the-horn double play, but fret not, Ikeda would be cashed in on the ensuing at-bat. Gregory Polanco, line drive single. Tatsumi plays it on a hop. And the Marines take the 1-0 lead in the top of the first. Hard hit by Yasuda, or by Kakunaka, but right to the third baseman Kudokawa. We enter the second inning. Takinaka still working, and Toshiya Sato brings the boomstick. Big Bang Theory. Takinaka trying to will that one to stay in the ballpark. Toshiya Sato's second home run of the season gives the Marines their second run. Iwashita gave them an inning of work. Hirohata took over, and with the bases full of birdies, Fumiya Kurokawa launches a sacrifice fly to deep right field. Taiga Hirasawa makes the out. Daichi Suzuki scores on the play, and that's where the score has sat since the bottom of the second. Been a close affair. Pittsburgh Sports, you guessed correctly. Takinaka's first K was Raito Ikeda. With runners at the corners. And Polanco at the dish. Ground out right to Daichi Suzuki. Takinaka likes the post. So that's the story so far. Marines doubling up the Eagles on runs and hits. 6 for the Marines, 3 for the Eagles, including a few extra bases and Toshiya Sato's long bomb.
And speaking of long bombs, I did forget to mention during the Pacific League TV spot, you can go back and watch some of the guys currently performing in MLB right now hit long bombs.
Masataka Yoshida, true. And even some interleague games. Now, we got to bring up interleague because it's one of the reasons why we're basically taking a month-long break from broadcasting here. Because interleague in NPB is a very specific set of games. It only runs from late May to early June. Every team in the other league will play only 3 games against every team in the Pacific League. 3 home or away, not both. It's not a balanced schedule. Hisanori Yasuda steps in for his third at-bat of the game against Takinaka. And some of those interleague games, the ones hosted by the Pacific League, will be broadcast on WatchDingo.com. So you'll be able to watch teams like the Tigers, the Swallows, the Bay Stars, the Dragons, the Giants, and I'm forgetting the Carp, as they play games against the Eagles, Hawks, Buffaloes, Lions, Fighters, and Marines. And I know there's one particular pitcher for the Bay Stars that's getting a lot of attention, and we'll do our level best to see if we can pull in one of his broadcasts. He's currently on the farm team. We're working on it. We're trying to size it up. We've never done interleague baseball for breakfast or midnight matinee before, but I know it would be a lot of fun to do. 2-2 on the way from Takinaka. Sliced foul. Yasuda with a very defensive swing there. That pitch was running in on his hands. Now, I know that Danny Riz has mentioned that his local team is the Dragons, but I'm curious for all of y'all's, if we were to show interleague games from the other league, which team would you want to see? Our producer is listening as Yasuda works another walk today, ball 4. Leadoff walk for the Marines here on the top of the 6th.
And which one would you want to see, Gabe?
I admit, I'm a Kansai guy. The Tigers.
I was going in the other direction. I'd want to see a Giants game.
You would. Masterman asking, is there any chance of MLB, NPB exhibition games at some point? Actually, that is a thing that's happened in the past. Back in 2019, when the Major League started their season at Tokyo Dome, with Ichiro Suzuki walking off the field and retiring, with Yusei Kikuchi on the team. Yasuda will collect this, 2-3 on the putout. Kakunaka's bunt is successful. That'll advance Yasuda to second. There were exhibition games between the Marines and the Mariners and the Athletics and the Fighters and Giants, who called Tokyo Dome home. So it does happen when the majors come to Japan for their regular season games.
It used to happen a lot more often, you know, in the last century. They'd come over seemingly every off-season. There would be a team. Every couple of years there'd be a big tour, and they would bring, you know, the big all-star teams. Now they don't do that as much, unfortunately.
That's true. There's a Samurai Japan versus the majors highlight that's available on YouTube. You can go look that up. I think it was Yuki Yanagita with a walk-off home run.
I even saw something back in the day. Some of the Major League players, if there wasn't an official MLB tour, they would go do their own tour. Just convince some of their friends and they'd go a little barnstorming tour.
That was in 2018, the most recent best of 6 series between Samurai Japan and the MLB All-Stars. Samurai Japan won 5 of the 6. How often do teams from KBO and NPB scrimmage, asked Jake Little. Good question. In fact, 2 KBO teams from South Korea joined the Miyazaki Phoenix League, which is a fall league similar to the Arizona Fall League that takes place in Miyazaki Prefecture in southern Kyushu. I don't remember which ones exactly. I think it's the Bears and the Eagles, which must get real confusing for Rakuten. If memory serves, I think it's actually the 12 NPB teams, 3 KBO teams, and a team made up of Shikoku Island League All-Stars. Oka launches this one to deep right center field. On the run is Ogo. He's not going to get there. It's his second extra base hit for Hiromi Oka, and another RBI for the Marines. It's 3-1 Chibolote here in the top of the 6th. See previous comment about Oka having a flair for the dramatic. Look at the spin on that curveball. Oka was waiting on it. On the warning track. 2 hardest parts of the cycle complete for Hiromi Oka. Kazuhisa Ishii out to tell Takinaka to call it a game. 5 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Tough situation for the Eagles. We're waiting to see who the new pitcher will be. That'll be the 26-year-old Sora Suzuki. Left-handed reliever, fastball slider changeup mix primarily. 4.61 ERA over 18 appearances so far in the 2023 season. Been a member of the Eagles organization since 2019, but a split time between the farm team and the top club. Given that Taiga Hirasawa is a left-handed batter, as well as Toshiya Sato, yeah, I can see why they're making the move to the left-handed pitcher, trying to get some lefty-lefty matchups. Hiromi Oka, as you can see on screen, is standing at second base. with an RBI double to go with his 2-out triple earlier this game. Well, Danny, it's not like the Eagles have been terrible. They're puttering along at 500, 3-3-1 in their last 7. They did win the series against the Marines here at Rakuten Mobile at the start of the month, 2-1. Due to Friday's rainout, this will be a 2-game series. That rainout game will be made up later on this year.
One thing to always keep in mind is when the season ends, all you have to do is make it to third place.
Which right now is a tie between the Hawks and the Buffaloes. You can hear the chants for Toshiya Sato. Solo home run today, one of the 3 runs that the Chiba Lotte Marines have scored.
To answer your question, Pittsburgh sports all the time, that's because they are owned by the corporations, and that's pretty much it. They're not owned by a single owner or an ownership group. The company themselves pretty much own them.
And that's part of NPB history in that it was corporations using them as an advertising expense. Fastball low for ball 3, that looked close. And how the professional game started was the owner of a newspaper wanted to put together a team to play against all-stars coming over from North America. That team is now basically the Giants over in the other league. So other newspapers, train companies, they decided to create ball clubs, formerly of employees but eventually made professional. That's a 4-pitch walk for Toshiya Sato. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Soda Suzuki throws the walk.
And it's a practice that still done in the Industrial League.
That is true. We don't often talk about them, but there is an entire subset of play here in Japan where companies, train companies, Sega Sammy for one, manufacturing companies, will pull together a corporate club and will be drafted from in order to join the majors. Players from Osaka Gas, JR East have gone on to great success in NPB.
One relevant example would be the Marines' Ayamu Ishikawa was from, I think, Tokyo Gas.
And he throws it too. Haha.
Haha.
Taiga Hirasawa steps in. 0-1 the count after fouling that last pitch off. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Slider in the dirt.
And it was a bit odd when Ishikawa went over to the corporate leagues, because I believe he actually went undrafted, and it was a bit of a shock at the time as why did nobody take him? But he used that opportunity to go to the corporate leagues, and I think he went first round.
That's been the path for a few players. High school to college to industrial leagues. And of course we're going to say shout out to Darian. Absolutely. We love having an active chat here on these broadcasts. Makes them a little more tolerable to stay up with. Pittsburgh Sports asking, did we both used to live in Japan? Nope, I've only visited. Ditto for Mike.
To that I answer, not yet.
Ever the optimist.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Flared into foul territory. Hirasawa stays alive. Devin brings up the interesting example of Junichi Tazawa, who went straight to the majors from the Industrial League. And actually got a rule named after him, saying that if you skip NPB, you have to re-enter it through the draft. One, two, the count. Hirasawa waiting. Fly ball center field. Tatsumi has it lined up. Good running by Oka will scurry to third. Runners at the corners now with 2 down. And one more. And Raito Ikeda is a right-handed batter, so interesting to see if Soda Suzuki will continue to stay in. Ishii out to have a chat with the umpires.
Oh no, subtract the mound visit.
Nope, that'll be the end of the day for Soda Suzuki. No runs allowed, but the 2 runners on base are his responsibility. Or one of them is, anyway. We're still waiting for the book to be closed on Takinaka with the other of those. Darian, hey, I positive I definitely gave you a shout out. Not my fault if you ain't listening.
Pittsburgh, I've watched it on TV. I have not physically been there. I would like to, but I mean, there's so many games in August, but I don't think the tickets are impossible to get, but it can be quite crowded and hard to get into.
In a high leverage salute situation, the Eagles go to one of their highest leverage relievers, the Taiwanese Titan Sung Cha-hao. 88 over 90 holds in NPB, has made 200 appearances. In fact, his 200th appearance was our last Midnight Matinee back on April 1st. 2-seamer, 4-seamer, changeup with a lot of break, and a slider. You'll see him top out at 153 on the radar gun, averaging about a strikeout per appearance and an ERA below 3. Only 2 more seasons and he qualifies as a domestic player. Bit of a rough start to the season, though. 5.63 ERA. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. Hey, even the chat's shouting out Darian. Nice. We got a good group.
Those are the type of towels I was talking about on the 3rd episode of the podcast.
Ah, yes, the player name towels. I gotta get me one of those when I'm over there.
Some of the fans bring a big bag, and I swear they will have 2 for each player in there.
Well, which is handy because anyone who's been to Japan will know that occasionally paper towels or hand dryers are hard to come by.
Really, haven't noticed. Huh.
You'll often find people will have their own little hand towel brought with them when they go to the washroom. Raito Ikeda, 4th at-bat of the game, 1 for 3 with a leadoff single. To start this game off, swung and hit on the first pitch he saw. First pitch he sees from Sung Cha-hao is into foul territory. Daichi Suzuki giving it a look right up against the fence and no play on it. Good question from Pittsburgh Sports all the time. Carter Stewart Jr. check-in.
Yeah, he's still there. This might be the last year of his deal, maybe? I think it was a 5-year deal. Where are we at in that? 19...
He's still in the minor leagues with the Hawks. He's only made 1 appearance so far this year, but I mean, I think he may have some injury troubles. 0-2 count, Sung Ja-hao here. There's a 2-seamer doing some work.
Interestingly enough, they put him down to the Hawks' 3rd team, which not every team has a 3rd team.
The Hawks have 4, just because they have so many players on their roster. And we do appreciate you, Darian, for coming out. Ikeda grounds past the 3rd baseman, Kudokawa, and into left field. Shimauchi collects it. Throw will be into 3rd base, but Sato will score. And the Marines jump out to a 5-1 lead. So Raito Ikeda continues his hot streak. Kudokawa just couldn't get the handle on it. Hopefully those guys got their hot dogs. And they haven't gone to sleep yet. 5-1 Marines here. Naito Ikeda standing at second, advanced to second on the throw. 1 for 2, Yudai Fujioka. Single and a walk.
Hopefully they didn't get willed back into existence.
Sung Chahao responsible for the man at second. Suzuki responsible for one of the runners who scored before, Takinaka the other. Strike one. Four-seamer. Nice outside movement. I'm going to just drop a quick tweet to let people know we are still going. Danny Riz checking in. Oh no, it's 10-3 Oryx over Nipponham. That's turning into what I like to call a comedy score. Players with MLB eyes on them. Yuki Matsui, the closer for the Eagles, who we may or may not see today, has stated his intention to head to the majors. Left-handed closer with a very good pitch mix. Go take a look on Pacific League's English YouTube channel for highlights. Look for Yuki Matsui. I wouldn't be surprised if Sung Chahao also attracts some interest. Swing and a miss on strike two. Change up. Good work there. Spirit Bro Sasaki is not playing. We honestly don't know when he's going to be pitching next, due to a finger blister issue. Full count here. Yudai Fujioka waits on delivery from Sung Chahao. Chopped foul. And that would be a walk. Sung Chahao now has the bases loaded as we hit midnight in the Mountain Time Zone. I know we've had viewers from Europe before. We've got a viewer from Australia. Us weirdos who are staying up late in the Eastern Time Zone. One thing I wonder is, do we have anyone from like Hawaii or the Pacific Time Zone, where basically this is like their game for them, like the West Coast games are for us here on the East?
We've had a few, not this broadcast, but over, I think the last one.
Shogo Nakamura with runners at the corners and 2 down. Nice looking slider dropped in for strike one. A rare crooked number so far in this game. The Marines finally broke out. I think Darian just realized his chat was delayed. Oh dear. Oh, Samuel, yeah, baseball nightcap. Glad you're able to join us from San Diego. Bounce in the dirt, 2-1 the count. Andres from Puerto Rico. Oh man, you're up late. Tanner Tanaka checking in from Cali. Alright, so we do have a few folks on the West Coast taking in a nightcap. Quick update on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Hawks are staked to a 1-0 lead over the Saitama Seibu Lions in the top of the third. High ball 3. Takuya Kai with the RBI single, 2 down, or with 2 down in the bottom of the second, staking his battery mate Koya Fuji to a 1-0 lead. Provide an update on the game going on at Kyocera Dome between innings. Strike called. Count is full. Oh, yeah, they do have a... Okay, lined into left field, base hit. That's picked up by Shimauchi. Ikeda will score. Making it to second with some pretty nifty base running is Fujioka. Shogo Nakamura tacks another on. The Lotte faithful are getting noisy. 6-1 Marines. Devin interested in moving to Japan. Well, if I may be so bold, why not take a trip and take in a game? You don't even have to navigate Japanese language websites. The Rakuten Eagles have an English language website for you to purchase tickets from, and Klook now has a partnership with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, so you can acquire tickets from them directly. For the other 4 teams in the Pacific League, you may have to rely on Google Translate, but there are ticket resellers out there who will be happy to supply you with tickets to your favorite club.
You can also just buy them at a convenience store ATM.
That's true. Lawson stores and 7-Eleven both have the opportunity to purchase tickets. That's at the letters, like the letter M, the top one for Polanco. Darian, let me be honest. I've visited 3 times. I'm visiting again this October. The food alone makes it worth it. You have to actually try to have a bad meal in Japan. As former Orcs Buffalo Adam Jones realized once he was over here. Polanco, that's a chopper to first. Suzuki has it. Throwing to Sung. That's going to be close in time, says the first base umpire. I'm wondering if Lotte might challenge that one. That looked like a bang-bang play. Still, through 5.5. Marines 6, Eagles 1. Shimauchi, Asamura, Franco, coming up for Rakuten. The Midnight Matinee here on the Pacific League English YouTube channel.
Talking about food, and now I'm thinking about Coco's.
Ichibanya curry. Man, I think they actually have one stateside, but like one.
Coco's has a few in Hawaii and there's some in California. I think there's one in Texas. I don't know if it's the same quality, though.
Alright, I'm thinking of Go-Go Curry, which is a former Coco Curry store, but they renamed it after Hideki Matsui because it's located in New York.
Oh.
Go-Go 55. What was Matsui's jersey number? Gotta love the inside jokes. Lord knows Japan has plenty of puns and whatnot.
Yeah, but that handcrafted tonkatsu curry with the side of shrimp fry.
If I wasn't allergic to shellfish, man.
I'm so sorry.
It happens.
That is unfortunate.
I'll live.
Yeah, they're just bugs at the end of the day.
Ooh, Devin saw some WBC games when he visited back in March. That was around the same time you were there, wasn't it, Mike?
Yep, same time. Whole reason I went.
Nice.
I did not get to go to the game because I wasn't about to spend $900, but it was fun being there.
I can imagine the energy there. Yeah, I'm going to grab a snack once we get to the Lucky Sevens. So another unique thing about the Japanese game is that they don't have the 7th inning stretch per se. they have the lucky sevens. Koshiro Wada checking into center field. Defensive substitution. I think that means Hiromi Oka moves to left. Shimauchi batting 182 on the season so far. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Sakamoto pumps in a ball. So the lucky seven is that they will play the team's cheer song. Kind of like how OK Blue Jays is played instead of God Bless America in Toronto. Yasan hauls that one in, one down. And they do it for the road team as well. So the top of the seventh is the road team lucky seven. Former Major Leaguer Masato Yoshii having a chat with the umpire. I think that might be the end of Sakamoto's day. Stake to a 5-run lead. Might as well go with some of the lower leverage arms in the bullpen. Masato Yoshii has an interesting history as well as one of the earlier members of the Japanese League to pitch in the majors. He pitched there with the New York Mets, the Colorado Rockies, and the Expos from 1998 to 2002. Before that, he was a member of the Kintetsu Buffaloes, now the Oryx Buffaloes, the Swallows, and after coming back from the majors, joined the Oryx Buffaloes and the Chiba Lotte Marines. Checking into the game for the Chiba Lotte Marines. It's Yusuke Azuma. Right-hander has a 5-pitch mix, fastball, sinker, cutter, slider, forkball. Joined the Marines in 2019 and has stayed with them since. 2021, he had a very good season, 2.88 ERA with 34 1/3 innings pitched. Darian, it's up to you and your stamina levels if you want to stick around. We're here. Hideto Asamura, fourth at-bat of the game. Third at-bat, my mistake. Fly out and a ground out. 308 batting average, and this is his walk year. He is a pending free agent. Open question as to who will fill the void at second should Asamura leave. Looks like there's a uniform giveaway if you're able to get to the July 4th game. Namely, that they'll be taking place at the Tokyo Dome. Every so often, the Eagles do get to take in a game, or do get to host a game at Tokyo Dome. Lions did earlier this season. A pair of two-seamers have missed for Azuma. And that one plunks Asamura. That's a dead ball, as they call it over here. Asamura will take his base. Not the first at-bat Azuma was hoping for. Theodore asking any PL players near career milestones this season. The guy you're just seeing take a fastball off the shoulder blade is one of them. Hideto Asamura will hit 2,000 hits either this year or next.
Hirano just got what, his 200th save and 200th hold?
That's right, 200th hold for Yoshihisa Hirano. If you want more information on milestones, please make sure to tune in to the podcast, because that's where I list them as part of the headline section I run. Michael Franco skies this one. Long run for Wada, but it looks like Oka's going to call him off. One away. Two away, my mistake. Thank you, Azuma, for reminding me. Asamada standing at first.
The podcast is actually made Tuesday, the day we usually record them on, a weekly thing to actually look forward to. Don't really do much on Tuesdays usually. It's always a weekend thing usually.
That's true. We did do a baseball for breakfast on Tuesday the 25th of April. That's a wild pitch. Getting past Sato, Asamada will tag up and move to second. Sato's allowed a wild pitch. He's already had a home run this game. So now there's an RBI chance here for Daiichi Suzuki. 2 for 2 so far today. Fastball outside for ball 2. Looks like a nice day in Sendai. Outfield sections appropriately crammed with fans. And the outfield sections will not only be the home fans, but road fans as well. Two-seamer in for a strike. Those road fans in the Latte Owendan, some may have taken the trip up from Chiba using the Shinkansen bullet train. Some may actually be fans of Latte from when they played here in the 70s. 2-1 on the way. That's low for ball 3.
70 degrees at the park currently, which sounds nice, but then the humidity is 82%.
Oh! Yeah, I've been to Japan during the rainy season. The humidity can be a little oppressive. You wonder why there's vending machines every 200 meters. That's why.
And we're thankful for him.
Oh, yeah. High ball 4. Azuma will walk Daiichi Suzuki. That'll bring Ryosuke Tatsumi to the plate with runners at first and second. 2 down.
There's not much a Pocari Sweat or an Aquarius can't fix, really.
Oh, Pocari Sweat. I've got a couple stores here in Toronto where I can at least get my Oyocha fix, and one I was able to find Mugicha, barley tea. One of my favorite things to drink when I'm over there in Japan.
Yeah, I got a store near me that actually stocks pretty much everything. Kind of surprising in Philadelphia to actually have that.
How we got this Darren asking how we got this opportunity. So Pacific League Marketing is the organization that operates Pacific League TV, and we are assisting them. Blocked by Sato, ball 1. So it's not NPB, it's specifically the Pacific League. And we're just fans. Heck, 2 out of 3 of us are Canadian. Jimbo's from Montreal. Theodore pumping the Ito in. Nice. I'm an Oyocha guy myself. Grounded to short, Fujioka will flip to Nakamura for the easy out. And that'll get us to the top of the 7th. And the Marines, lucky 7. We love, love, love Marines. Sing along if you know the words.
楽天イーグルスピッチャーの交代をお知らせいたします。そのチャーハンに変えまして、背番号62、西口アウト。
Yeah, Pierre, I really don't know why they changed to that version of the song. I thought the other one was perfectly fine.
New pitcher into the game for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Here in the top of the 7th, it's Naoto Nishiguchi. Last year, a 30 holds with 2.26 ERA in 61 appearances. 4.6 ERA on the season so far, so bit of a slump. You'll expect the fastball topping out at 156 kilometers an hour, a forkball that's his best pitch, a knuckle curve, and a changeup. Some of these guys you may remember from the initial Midnight Matinee. I apologize for any chewing noises. I am having a snack.
What you got there?
In quintessentially Canadian style, it's a maple butter tart.
I'm gonna Google that. Oh, okay. Did you get that from Timmy's?
No, from Farm Boy grocery store here. And yeah, you need your sugar and caffeine if you're going to be broadcasting up here. Strike one on the outside. Ah, Devin, the Urikos. The beer keg-toting girls in the stands. Yasuda will send this into those stands. Count his own, too.
I feel bad for their knees, man. So many steps to go up and down.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But, hey, draft beer right at your seat? I'm not saying no. Oh, 2 on the way from Nishiguchi. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yasuda will complete the strikeout by throwing down to Daichi Suzuki. Hey, we got a fan coming in from South Korea. Welcome to the broadcast. Pinch hitter here, or joining the game as a defensive replacement is Koshiro Wada. This is his first at-bat of the game. Now, there's a little bit of humor going on here with the various East Asian leagues and this particular matchup, because Rakuten also sponsors a team in Taiwan in the CPBL, the Monkeys, and Lotte is also a Korean corporation, and they sponsor the Giants in the KBO. 1-1 on the way from Nishiguchi, high, ball 2.
Both Lotte teams actually had similar jerseys back, way back in the day during the 80s, I think.
Ditto for Rakuten, right now. That maroon is a corporate color. Strike 2. Nishiguchi just going with a fastball, just pumping them in.
Hey Dan, how's it going?
Ah, first name basis, nice. Crane pose. Called strike 3! Nice little kabuki-esque mie there. Just freeze and fire. Relatively understated strike call from the umpire. I'm used to guys using their whole bodies.
Oh, I don't remember his name, that one umpire that screams.
Oh yeah, the guy who sounds like a goat. I know. There's a curveball, and Oka has his third hit of the day. That's, in Japanese parlance, a moda show, a fierce batting performance. And not to put too fine a point on it, but he's a home run away from the cycle now.
8番キャッチャー佐藤
He never gets the most hits on the team or the most home runs, but he always seems to just get them when you need him, or just be there for something dramatic every time. Whether it's a walk-off or a bases-clearing double or just whatever you need, he somehow gets it.
Here's the catcher, Toshiya Sato. 1 for 2 today with a solo home run. Fastball for strike 1.
Darien, they're used to be. I don't think it's been active for well over a decade.
The Asia Series, you are correct. Used to be active. In fact, actually included teams from Italy, the Italian Baseball League, in order to make it a proper round robin. I think the Australian Baseball League also competed. I mean, Pierre, it would be pretty ridiculous if we see an Oka cycle. Mostly because it'd require the Marines to bat around a little bit more. It's top of the 7th already. If we see it, though, we may have to save this broadcast for posterity. A little extra on the fastball there. 150 on the radar gun. But it's outside. And 2-1. Curveball dropped in low, ball 3.
Pittsburgh sports all time. I was not bored yet, so the pain is not there. Prehistory and all that.
I'll have to take your word for it. Oh dear! That throw from Yasuda sails into center field. Hiromi Oka advances to third on the error. I'm eager to see a replay of this, just to see what exactly happened. Was it a misplay? Forkball for strike 2. Yasuda just says, yeet. That's tough. .151 on the radar gun, filed away. Nishiguchi trying to get a clean inning here. He's staring right at Oka at third. Full count pitch on the way. Flared foul. That's why they got the cicada whistles. Really got to watch out for those foul balls. Apologies for the silence, I'm trying to finish my snack. Oh, that's a cool camera angle. Good thing we don't have 3D TVs, because otherwise you'd see that coming right at you.
They still make those? Really? I haven't seen one forever.
Into foul territory. Credit where credit is due. Sato is scrapping here. How much would tickets be for this game in Canadian dollars? Not the Eagles are in on the dynamic pricing thing, so ticket prices will change. If memory serves, for my Sunday game in May, right around this time frame, back in 2019, $36 a head. That's bounced into the dirt. Checked swing, did not go. That's another walk charged to Nishiguchi. Hirasawa will be coming to the plate.
Real quick in the chat, did they not have the netting down there at that game? Was it not like Japan's foul ball netting?
Or the majors, for that matter.
Yeah, the way they do it now.
Tickets do vary depending on seating location, time of year, opponent. Let me take a look. I remember I actually tracked some of my ticket prices from back in 2019. I visited all 12 NPB teams on one trip because I am a giant dork. And let me see if I can pull up the ticket prices. Come back to me on that. That is scorched deep to right field. Ogo hauls it in, inning over. And we head to the lucky 7 for the Eagles. Score still 6-1 Chibolote over Tohoku Rakuten.
では勝利へ向かって羽ばたけ楽天イーグルス。
All right, so I have the answer for ticket prices for Darien. The cheapest seat I got was 2,200 yen, so around 20 bucks Canadian, in the outfield bleachers for the Tigers in the other league. The most expensive seat was for the Swallows in the other league. I sat behind home plate for around $44. I tried to average it to like 30 bucks per seat per game. So some games I splurged, some games I did not. PayPay Dome actually has an early bird discount on some of its seats. So if you can get into the nice seats, you can probably get a nice price for it too. Yasuda watches strike one sail past. Azuma leaning on that two-seamer. Is Riz still in the chat? I haven't gotten an out-of-town scoreboard update. I guess I need to do that. It's still 10-3 for the Buffaloes over the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Sorry, 10-4, my mistake. Top of the 8th, it looks like the Fighters have been able to tack another one on. Still kind of a comedy score. And the Lions have tied it up in the top of the fourth at PayPay Dome. Bottom of the fourth coming up for the Hawks. To watch either of those games for free, head to watchdingo.com and look for the Baseball Network. You won't hear our lovely voices, but you will be able to watch these games complimentary of FTF Sports and Pacific League TV. Kurokawa with the lone RBI on a sac fly to right. Technically 0 for 1 on the day. Second and third baseman primarily. So maybe he takes over the mantle at second base when Hideto Asamura reaches free agency if he chooses not to resign with Rakuten. Notable in absence, Hiroto Kobukata, who is a similar infielder and also can play a little bit of left. Grounded to first, Ikeda has it himself. 2 down.
1番ショート山崎剛
Tsuyoshi Yamasaki now step into the plate. 2 down, base is empty. 2 grounds outs and a flyout. 335 on base percentage. Jake Little, oh no. Blacked out from 3 MLB teams, but you can watch a game from the other side of the world for free. Ain't life grand? Isn't technology marvelous? Christian agreeing blackouts are the worst, but hey, with Pacific League TV, there are no blackouts. None at all. If it's a Pacific League team, you will be able to watch it.
And if it's not a Pacific League team, you can at least still watch their farm team.
Or them during Interleague, which will be starting up in just over a week's time. That's a defensive swing from Yamasaki. That heads into the stands. Will the Interleague matches be free as well? If they're hosted by the Pacific League, so at one of our 6 member clubs, then yes, the Baseball Network will be carrying them. I don't know if FTF Sports will carry it as part of their live English commentary or their time-shifted English commentary streams. But you can at least be able to catch them online. Oka's going to have to chase this one to the wall. Tsuyoshi Yamasaki has himself a 2-out double. And the Rakuten Eagles have something to cheer about here in the bottom of the 7th. Oka moved to left from center field, taken over for Katsuya Kakunaka. Koshiro Wada is manning center field. So quick correction, the Watch Dingo stream is free if you are in the US or Canada. So continental US plus Hawaii and Alaska. Pinch hitter here, Toshiki Abe, acquired from the Dragons through free agency. Line drive right center field. That will split the outfielders. Wada's going to get there first, but that will score a run. It's a pinch hit RBI double for Toshiki Abe. Eagles get one back. It's 6-2 Marines. Toshiki seems pretty happy with himself. You'll remember he was part of the starting lineup in our midnight matinee at first in lieu of Daiichi Suzuki due to injury. Hiroaki Shimauchi coming to the plate. This last year was a career best with an 826 OPS. Also won the best 9 for his efforts, along with 2 All-Star nods. One of a few handfuls of players left over from the 2013 Japan Series Championship Club. Others in that, Masahiro Tanaka, Ginji, and Takero Kajima. Bit more of a purposeful tempo to the cheering section out in left field. Ground ball right to Shogo Nakamura. Inning over.
And then the horns fell silent.
Well, there are no horns here anyway, because... Synths, yes. As mentioned at the top of the broadcast, because of Rakuten Mobile Park Miyagi's proximity to a hospital, both home and road cheering sections have to avoid the use of brass instruments. The road team just forgoes any instrumentation. The home team uses a keyboard. There's a shot of the scoreboard. Marines jumped out to an early lead and then kind of poured it on in the top of the 6th. The home run was from Chusei Manami over at Kyocera Dome. It's 10-4 Buffaloes over Fighters in the bottom of the 8th. SoftBank threatening now against Chihiro Sumida. Akira Nakamura's got 2 runners in scoring position.
The famous pitcher, Uchi Seru.
New pitcher into the game for the Eagles, taken over from Naoto Nishiguchi. Seiryu Uchi. Fastball, cutter, curveball, slider, splitter. Toshiki Abe will also be checking into today's game. Pretty sure it'll be as the first baseman. There we go. So Darian and folks, there is your link to watch Pacific League games. Let's not forget that Lions-Hawks game will be continuing after this one concludes. WatchDingo.com, available in the US and Canada. Good effort there by Abe. Pittsburgh Sports asking how we got into Japanese baseball. I visited my best friend who lived in Japan at the time. We wanted to go to a baseball game because we were both Blue Jays fans, and I got hooked on the atmosphere, the cheering sections, and that was all she wrote. I kept an eye on things, and I made a point to watch a lot of baseball, especially during the lockdown in 2020, when NPB got started before the majors did. Uchi has a relatively good ERA early on. 1-for-4 day for Raito Ikeda, 2 strikeouts.
In my case, a friend of mine had sent me a package, and they sent a yearbook from 2010 of their... Go on.
Abe is checked in at third base, and he makes the out there.
Of their local team, and 2010 was a good year for their local team, and I decided they were my guys. I'm impartial, though. And then I imported the video game. Pro Baseball Spirits, the official NPB video game, and that is it.
There are a few NPB games out there. Pro Baseball Spirits, Pawapuro, which is available on the Nintendo Switch. If you want to get a sense of that game, I believe WBC Power Pros is available in English and around the world for only 99 cents for the PS4 and Switch. Same playstyle, just no licenses from NPB. 2-0 count here. Uchi working to Yudai Fujioka. Outside ball 3, Fujioka has not had much to work with in terms of the pitches he's seen. I mean, Uchi's only 20 years old or so. 21, I think, by now. Yeah. So, youngster being placed in a high leverage situation. 4 straight pitches on the outside. Fujioka walks.
With how young they are when they get called up sometimes, some of them even debuting right out of high school, it feels like, oh, this guy's been around forever, and then you check his, his NPB page or whatever, and you find out he's only 24, and you're like, what? There's some pitchers I swear I've seen them for like 10 years now, and they're only like 23.
Perfect example, the guy we were talking about earlier, Yuki Matsui. He debuted with the Eagles as an 18-year-old in 2014. And he was used as a starter back then. Then the following year, he, made 33 saves with a .87 ERA, so that's where the legend of Yuki Matsui started off. Fastball in for strike, 1-1 the count. Hammered past Yamasaki into center field. Shogo Nakamura with a second hit of the day. Gregory Polanco got the game's first RBI on a line drive single to center. DH has had 2 groundouts and a pop-out since. Runners at first and second with 1 out here for Gregory Polanco, nicknamed El Café, and since we're closing in on 3 in the morning, maybe coffee's not a bad idea. Hammered on the ground, that'll go to Asamura, flip to Yamasaki, not in time at first for the double play. Polanco legging it out. That will be runners at the corners on a fielder's choice for 6. Gotta love the launch angle in the negatives. I guess Abe didn't check into the game? I'm trying to figure out where he is on the diamond right now. Ah, he's in right field. My mistake.
Yeah,
he checked in for Yuya Ogo. He's in right field. Advantage of having positional flexibility. Yasuda has 2 walks on the day. Skies this one into foul territory. The Eagles have been charged with 2 errors so far, one of which I know was a throwing error from Yasuda. I'm curious what the second was. It wasn't the triple, that much we know. Yasuda, fly ball, center field, Tatsumi barely has to budge. Inning over. Bipolar. It's both of us who are on the podcast, and Jimbo Bernicki will occasionally guest on Baseball for Breakfast, his play-by-play. The podcast guys are the Pacific League play-by-play guys, are the Pacific League Top 20 Plays guys. It's just us three. And if you aren't subscribing yet for podcast, please do. It's something new we've added for this season, in addition to making the pitch, the top 20 plays, and the occasional highlights voiced over by Mike. We're all trying our best to bring you more English content. Now it's as good of a time as any to remind you that this broadcast is the copyrighted content of Pacific League Marketing, Pacific League TV, and the 6 Pacific League member teams, and cannot be redistributed or rebroadcast without their express written consent. Familiar face for fans of the Boston Red Sox entering the game here, Hirokazu Sawamura, longtime member of the Giants bullpen, joined the Chiba Lotte Marines at the trade deadline and helped them in their postseason push in 2021. Sawamura then went to the Boston Red Sox in 2022 and rejoined the league this season. You may have remembered him sporting the Randy Arozarena pose, closing out one game. It's one of his saves on the season. He does also have 8 holds with a 4.4 ERA. Fastball slider splitter has a tendency to come a little loosey-goosey with his pitching motion, but do you see there the other pitchers available in the Marines bullpen? Luis Perdomo, one of those options. I gotta say, I like the fact that Sawamura's letting his hair grow out since leaving the Giants organization. They're very much similar to the Yankees. No facial hair. Keep your hair neat and trim. And he's got a tight little man bun at the back of his head here. Hideto Asamura trying to get things started here for the Eagles in the bottom of the 8th. 153 on the radar gun. You're going to expect that kind of heat from Sawamura.
When he got traded to the Marines, I think that was 2020, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like immediately he just let his hair grow out.
Asamura deep to right field. That will be not caught by Hirasawa. That's up against the wall. Asamura charging into second. Sawamura greeted with a leadoff double.
Like, I think it was like within a week he had his beard fully grown, so I guess he was getting real sick of shaving in Tokyo.
Well, it helped his pitching too. In 21 innings pitched, a 12.4 K per 9, 0.95 ERA, and a 1.71 WHIP to help solidify the back end of the bullpen as the Marines went into finished second in the Pacific League that season before bowing out to the SoftBank Hawks in the Climax Series. Michael Franco now stepping in here. 130 home runs in the majors with Kansas City, Baltimore, and DC, but most well known for his time with the Phillies. Outside of the reach of a stretching Fujioka, Asamura slides into third, and now there's runners on the corners and none out. Not to call attention to it, but the tying run is now on deck for the Eagles. And Daiichi Suzuki, career 734 OPS, 3-time best 9, 4-time All-Star, 2 hits so far today and a walk. 356 on base so far this season with 2 home runs, none out. As we creep towards midnight on the West Coast. Choking up on the bat there against Sawamura. Fastball low, ball one, but 154 on the gun. We might see Naoya Masuda in this game. We might see Perdomo. Depends on how this inning goes. Only 6 outs remain for the Eagles to make up a 4-run deficit. Outside, ball 2. Sinker not getting a nibble.
If what I'm looking at here is correct for Suzuki, this is his first and third situation he's had all year so far.
Wow. Well, if Suzuki's in the bottom half of the lineup, you've got Asamura and Franco clearing the bases ahead of him. Kind of makes sense. On the ground, that's outside of the reach of Shogo Nakamura. 1 run will score. Franco will hold at second. RBI single for Daichi Suzuki. And the lead shrinks to 6-3. Just tapped on the ground. Oh! Under the glove of an outstretched Shogo Nakamura. And the Rakuten Oendan is starting to get on their horses. That's a 3-hit game for Daichi Suzuki now. Oka may need that home run for the cycle. Ryosuke Tatsumi has grounded out 3 times so far today. 2 home runs on the season so far, though. Took a brief stint in the minors to recombobulate, and just got called up after the mandatory 10 days. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on the splitter.
That Suzuki RBI, that is only his second hit with runners in scoring position all season.
Wee. Tatsumi, tying run at the plate with none out against Sawamura. That's fouled away to the back screen. Count quickly, 0-2. We have a final score from Kyocera Dome. The Oryx Buffaloes 10, the Hokkaido Nippon Fighters 4. If you're still not tired of Japanese baseball, you can watch the SoftBank Hawks and Seibu Lions on WatchDingo.com or Pacific League TV. The Hawks lead 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Unfortunately, unless the broadcast shows the out-of-town scoreboard for the other league, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it. Ronin calling a 2005 rematch in the Japan series. I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone. The number of cardiac issues in the Kansai area. Yeesh. In the dirt, ball 1. Sawamura, you will note, wears the number 18 times 3, number 54. See previous comment about how 18 is the ace number in Japan. Sawamura also wore that with the Red Sox when he played for them in 2021 and 2022. That is going to connect with Tatsumi. Hit by pitch, dead ball, whatever you want to call it. The bases are now loaded for the Eagles with none out. And Sawamura's in a bit of a bind. Kuroki, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a confab.
Kind of surprised they waited until the bases were loaded to go out and talk to him.
That one clips the shin guard. Even with the guard, that's gotta sting. I took a batted ball off the knee in softball earlier this week, and it still smarts. So, bases full of birdies, none out. Yuma Yasuda with a chance to make a big impact on this game. Masterman changing his mind about whether he wants dingers or not. I can appreciate that. .152 on the gun, in for a strike. I hope we don't have... Mike, I echo your sentiments. No extra innings tonight, please. Our first Midnight Matinee went to the 10th. That's in the dirt, but good block by Sato to keep the runners where they are. Sine Ronin with a question. How long does it take the other league to unite like the Pacific? I honestly don't see that ever really happening. Mostly because one of the teams in the other league is partially owned by one of the major television broadcasters in Japan. So they have already got their TV rights sewn up. And they're very valuable. Also, they're all run by 20th century people.
They got their own TV channel.
Ball 2. 14 pitches thrown by Sawamura now. Yuma Yasuda. Pretty sure he's 0 for today at the moment. Waits on the 2-1. Fouled off Sato, and oh, buddy, you better walk that off. Watch where this foul tip connects. Oh! Underside of the thigh. Little catcher-on-catcher violence there. Eesh. Cup check. No. Jay Fitz asking if the NPB might adopt the pitch clock or some of the other new rules in the future. I don't believe so. They haven't adopted the Manfred Man. They also have not adopted, in the other league, the designated hitter. That's right, the other league is the only top pro league left in the world with a pitcher's bat.
I don't think a pitch clock would really do anything because the at-bats aren't as drawn out as they were in MLB prior to the pitch clock.
And it's not dull time. There's the cheering sections. If you have a pitch clock, you're not going to be able to get a full song in. Full count all the way to Yuma Yasuda. Called strike 3. Sawamura needed that. Now a double play gets him out of the inning. Beautifully dotting the corner there.
Like, yeah, sure, that at-bat might have been a pitch clock violation, but a lot of the pitchers and catchers, they just get their sign and they just go. And there's not a lot of the, you know, undo your batting gloves, redo your batting gloves, step out, meditate, you know, etc. Everyone just seems to naturally go at a decent, you know, pace.
Pinch hitter here for Kudokawa is Takero Kajima, another one of those holdovers from the 2013 Japan Series Championship team. outfielder converted from a catcher. Outside ball 1. Bases are still full here. Tying run at first, go-ahead run at the plate. But with 5 outs to work with, time is running out for these Eagles. Sawamura deals. Tries to get the call. Ooh, that looked close on the pitch graphic. I'm not sure if this strike zone is more advanced than the one over in the majors, but oof.
Sawamura, one of the more expressive pitchers NPB has.
Well, I mean, not everyone can be Nick Martinez who likes this post. Or Cody Ponce swearing at Takuya Nakashima. In a good way, in a good way.
Usually when they're, upset with the call, you just get kind of like a little look, a head shake, but Sawamura lets you know when he's not happy.
Jokerman asking when the last time an NPB team played a game against an MLB. This actually came up earlier in the broadcast. 2019, when Ichiro and the Mariners were in Japan to have his retirement game at Tokyo Dome. The Mariners and their opponents, the Oakland Athletics, actually played exhibition games against the Giants and the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. I don't believe those were broadcast anywhere, but they did exist. So, Masterman, each broadcaster has their own score bug. We can't always control which one FTF pulls in. Yeah, that's right. Cody Ponce, another Pittsburgh Pirate, and he threw a no-hitter last year. That is laced to center field. Deep but playable. Wada collects it. Tagging will be Michael Franco. A crucial second out. But the tying run is still at first. 6-4 Marines over Eagles. Franco having to hustle there. Okajima getting the successful pinch hit. I think that may be why we may see Okajima in and right and Abe moving to third. Yamasaki now will bat with Daichi Suzuki on third and Yosuke Tatsumi at first. 1 for 4 with a double today. Tsuyoshi Yamasaki. On the ground, Ikeda with a spinorama catch. Ends the bottom of the 8th. Bent but unbroken. To the top of the 9th we go. Oka with a chance for history. Hiromi Oka will bat second this inning. It is Wada, Oka, Sato. Masterman sweating that entire inning. I can believe it.
All last year for our first 6 broadcasts, we went all those without a single home run, didn't we?
You mean... Wait, what? Run that by me again?
When we did the broadcasts last year, we did all 6 games and there wasn't a single home run, was there?
No, there was. Brandon Laird
Was there?
made some sushi.
Really?
In one of the games. I'm pretty sure there were home runs.
Seems like there's been a lot more this season, or at least we're getting the games that are having a lot more.
That we are, yes.
And
pitcher
now
into
we're
the
in
game.
desperate need of one.
New pitcher into the game for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. That is Tomohito Sakai. Fastball, curveball, slider, forkball. Formerly a Chiba Lotte Marine himself, joined the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles in 2020. This is his 7th pro season. 7 appearances so far this season, 2 holds, 1 save. At this point, just trying to stem the bleeding and turn things over. And Darien, it's a chance at history because Oka is a home run away from the cycle. Okajima, as predicted, checking in right field. Toshiki Abe moving to third base, replacing Fumiya Kurokawa.
マリーンズの攻撃は6番センター和田センター和田
Koshiro Wada struck out in his first at-bat of the game. Came in as a defensive replacement of Katsuya Kakunaka. Top of the 9th here. Wada squared to bunt. Instead, just watch ball 1 sail past his eyeballs. See, I'd always be worried about bunting the ball directly into my face.
You could pull a Max Scherzer and do that, break your nose, and strike out like 13 people the same day.
This is not the rubber match Pittsburgh Sports. Friday's game was rained out, so it's a mini 2-game series. If Lotte hangs on to win, they will have swept the mini 2-game series. A Rakuten win would mean a split. Lotte hasn't lost in their last 5 games. Sakai seems to be missing the top of the zone here. 3-0 the count. Here's 3-0 on the way from Sakai. That one's in for a strike. Steady diet of fastballs. Wada just wants something he can bunt, please. There's a squeeze bunt, but it rolls foul. Daichi Suzuki says, I want nothing to do with this ball. Get out of here. To the 46 of you still hanging in, bless you. Wada will work the walk. That brings Oka to the plate. He's only got 1 home run on the season so far, but 3 hits so far today. The last player in NPB to hit for the cycle was Yasutaka Shiomi, September 18, 2021, with the Swallows. The last time a Chiba Lotte Marine did it might be a familiar name to some folks. Julio Zuleta, former Chicago Cub, but he did it here at Rakuten Mobile Park Miyagi against these Eagles in 2007. He squares to bunt instead. Oh, man.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Well, cycle watch is over.
8番キャッチャー佐藤
2 walks, solo home run, and a ground out to second for Toshiya Sato, the catcher. Waiting. Gets a call on the outside. Strike 1. Theodore, a bunt home run would have been sweet. Have you seen clips of those from like video games of someone squaring to bunt and then immediately it cuts to the ball going over the fence? I think there was one with the Jose Bautista bat flip one.
You've seen that.
Grounded up the middle, base hit. Tatsumi is going to throw home. Wada hits the brakes. Runner trying to go to second. Out at second base. 8-2-4 on your scorecard. Masato Ishii says that play looked so good. Let's take another look.
ただいまマリーンズ吉井監督が
Toshiya Sato getting a little greedy. Let's see what the replay shows. 8-2-6 on your scorecard. So here's the full play. Sato. This gets bounced up the middle, outside of the reach of Asamura. Tatsumi, though, up firing to home, forcing Wada back to third. Shortstop. Ooh. Did he get the tag down in time? Watch where that leg is. Oh, I think he's out. I think this play's going to stand.
Yeah, he's out by a good few inches.
That could be a costly out for the Marines here. Sakai is going to keep staying loose during this outage. I mean, you can just see the lip of Sato's cleat make contact with the base. Call from the official is out. Second out of the inning. 8-2-6 on your scorecard. Fantastic heads-up play by Yuma Yasuda. Call stands. If I'm reading the box score correctly. Too close to call. Wada stands at third. Critical insurance run. Here's Hirasawa. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Good looking breaking pitch from Sakai there. At this point, you do have to go to the closer Naoya Masuda if you are the Marines. Or if he's unavailable, maybe Luis Perdomo. Set up outside. 0-1 on the way. Slid way too far. Count is 1-1. Lotte faithful trying to will one more run onto the scoreboard. Wait, was that a swing? Nope. Looks like the scoreboard operator was just as confused as we are. Out-of-town scoreboard update. In the 6th inning, it's SoftBank Hawks 3, Cebu Lions 1. Curveball floated in outside ball 3. And that's the kind of a curveball you're more likely to see, clocking in at 120. Takinaka's highway speed slow curve, 20 kilometers an hour slower. When's the last time you guys went to a baseball game? Earlier this week, actually. I saw the Blue Jays walk off the Yankees 1-0 in 10 innings earlier this week. Hi for ball 4. How about you, Mike? What was your last baseball game that you attended in person?
March 18th or 19th, Lotte spring training game against Cebu.
Oh, sure. Rub it in my face that you actually got to see Japanese baseball this year.
Okay, I'll do it again. Let's go.
It's after 3 in the morning Eastern. I'm allowed to get a little chippy and snippy.
It was only spring training. It's fine. I think Oka went 3 for 3 in that game, too. Funnily enough.
Raito Ikeda, 1 for 5 so far today. That's going to help bring down the batting average. Small sample size, 12 for 32. See, Sine Ronin. What MLB team would be a perfect fit for Hiroki Sasaki? I'm going to catch some flack for this. Not the Angels.
Not the Angels, not the Mariners, not a lot of teams.
Oh, no, I'd be okay with Mariners. They actually made the postseason for the first time in 2 decades last year. Taiga Hirasawa picks up the stolen base, or defensive indifference. Runners at second and third now for Raito Ikeda. Jay Fitz going to his first minor league baseball game today. Expect a good time. Also, get some sleep, my dude. That's in there for a strike.
I had heard a story of someone who went to a minor league game, like a real low level team, and they took a Taco Bell gift card and said first one that hits a home run gets it, and then he had the entire, both teams swinging for the fences.
Yeah, that was back when minor league pay was not so good. One thing the Japanese leagues can pride themselves on, minor league players definitely have better stipend and benefits.
They get a dorm too, I believe, if they choose to live there.
Oh no, Brainlet is actually a Angels fan. I'm sorry, man. Also, if you're going to a minor league game, make sure you note down all the players you see, because some of them may be important. Ikeda chopped. Yamasaki off balance throw. In time! Diving headfirst was Raito Ikeda, but couldn't complete the play.
You do, Ronin. I believe you do have a
There is a Dutch
baseball
German
Bundesliga.
Yeah. So
There's also a league in your neighbor Austria.
And failing that, you can go check out the Czech League, because they have a World Baseball Classic team. Yeah, Baseball Bundesliga.
And there's also the Italian League, which is I think they've won European tournaments before.
They competed in the Asia series for a while.
And the Dutch League. Honk ball.
More honk on the honk ball. Sine Ronin, where are you located in Germany? I can point you to the team. As we wait for the bottom of the 9th here. Entering the game, Luis Perdomo. ...16 holds, but he's going for his first save tonight. 2.04 ERA. This Dominicano was originally part of the Cardinals organization as an international free agent. Selected by the Rockies in the Rule 5 draft in 2015, then traded to the Padres. He actually was in the starting rotation for the Padres in 2018. But in 2020, he underwent Tommy John, signed a minor league deal with the Brewers, joined the Brewers in 2022, but signed a contract this offseason with the Marines. Toshiki Abe getting things started here. He had a pinch hit RBI double in his first at-bat. Nice curveball there. Ball 2. Fastball way outside for ball 3. Perdomo throws a sinker, curveball, slider, changeup mix. Going for his first NPB save in today's game. And he's going to walk the leadoff man, Abe, on 4 straight pitches. Tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the 9th. Hiroaki Shimauchi, the man they nickname Eel Dog. It's a good thing that the Eagles don't bust out their black jerseys during matchups with the Marines. That might get confusing. One on the way. Fastball at 150. Good looking two-seamer there. Another two-seamer, strike 2. Perdomo seems to have found the pitch that works for him. I am so glad it's a holiday-long weekend here in Canada, so I don't have to worry about getting up early for work on Monday. Shimauchi deep to left field. On the run, Oka makes the grab. That's going to chase Abe back to first, 1 out.
I thought that was gone for a second.
You and me both.
It felt like he looked up and it just went over and I was like, oh no.
Well, see previous comments about Oka having a flair for the dramatic. That's what he do. Polanco looking on from the dugout. Nakamura's got his jersey all dirty. Pinch runner coming in for Toshiki Abe. Kazuki Tanaka will pinch run at first. Asamura now. One for 4 today with a double. Perdomo continuing to nibble around the edges here. Two-seamer misses inside for ball 3. We're seeing sliders and two-seamers from Perdomo. Not a lot of fastball. There we go. Called strike 1. Tanaka taking a pretty big lead there at first. Asamada will send this one into the expensive seats. Pittsburgh Sports, no, the Manfred Man is not a rule here. If the Eagles should tie this up and fail to take the lead, we will have 3 innings of regular baseball, and then the game will be declared a tie. Fouled off again. Samada staying alive there. 6th pitch of the at-bat. Sinker low in the zone. Called strike 3. Perdomo getting the K. Eagles are down to their last out here. And it's Michael Franco. Dominican on Dominican at bat here. So far, just the leadoff walk, a blemish for Perdomo. 2 singles so far today for Michael Franco. Perdomo does a check-in on Tanaka over at first. That's grounded up the middle. Fujioka flips to Nakamura. That's the ball game. The Chiba Lotte Marines will hang on and win tonight's game 6-4. The win, I believe, will go to won't go to Iwashita. It'll probably go to the guy who followed him, Hirohata. Save to Luis Perdomo, his first in NPB. The loss tag to Ryota Takinaka, his second. I think we're going to leave the broadcast going to watch the hero interview, see who gets interviewed between the Eagles and the Marines. Our next broadcast will be in 1 month's time as the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks welcome the reigning Japan Series champions, the Orix Buffaloes, at PayPay Dome. Midnight Eastern, the start. Hopefully you'll be able to join us for that. Mike, any final words before we sign off?
That's an important win for Lotte to keep their lead in the division at 2 games ahead of Orix, but other than that, good night.
Yep, sweet dreams, everyone. Have a great rest of the night and a great rest of the weekend.
放送席、そして全国のマリーンズファンの皆さん、ヒーローインタビューです。今日のヒーローは見事、プロ初勝利を挙げられました、広畑敦也選手です。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
さあ、今日は2回からの登板という形になりましたけれども、まずどのような意識を持ってマウンドへ上がられたんでしょうか。
そうですね、岩下さんが最初、初回しっかり抑えてくれて、僕は2回からっていう、監督からその回って言われてたので、しっかり準備をして入ることができました。
さあ、その2回にはワンアウト満塁のピンチを迎えながらも最少失点で切り抜けて3イニングを投げリードを守り抜きました。ご自身で振り返ってみていかがでしょうか。
やっぱり入りが悪かったので、やっぱりそこを2回からの修正っていう部分を3回、4回でしっかりできて、4回も同じようにピンチを作ってしまったんですけど、やっぱり2回同じことはしちゃいけないなと思って、しっかり最後投げることができました。
そのように粘り強く投球できた結果、プロ初勝利という形になりました。改めて今のお気持ちいかがですか。
やっぱり自分が初勝利っていうよりも、やっぱりチームが勝ったことが一番こういう日は嬉しいと思うので、そのチームが勝ったことと自分が勝ったことをしっかり合わせて、今日は喜びたいなと思います。
ちなみに、プロ初勝利のボールっていうのは今お持ちですか。まだですね。
どっかに行ったと思います。
はい。そのプロ初勝利のボール、いずれ受け取ることになると思いますけれども、どのようにする予定ですか。
ありきたりですけど、やっぱり両親に渡そうかなとは思ってるので、最初ぐらいは渡してあげたいと思います。
さあ、チームはこれで引き分けを挟んでの5連勝となりました。最後に、ファンの皆さんにメッセージをお願いいたします。
やっぱり今日勝って5連勝ということで、やっぱりしっかりこのままもっともっと練習を重ねていくところで、また自分がその、ピースになれるようにやっていきたいと思います。
はい、ありがとうございます。無事、プロ初勝利のボールが届きました。はい、ありがとうございます。今日のヒーローは広畑敦也選手でした。おめでとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。